in this game. I mean, a lot of his kit is very well retained, if not improved upon, since Exert. But the way that Strive has implemented it definitely means that there are some weaknesses to his game. The problem with it is that the damage output in this game is a lot more volatile, and the access in which you can get said damage is a lot more easy by comparison.
Such an important aspect of high damage characters is the matter of risk reward. How much health can you use as a resource to get your opportunity started? And on top of that, Slayer with such insane damage output with generally easy access can turn one opportunity like a YRC that you just got right here, even with such low health. Chuckle's not out of it yet, but then of course the 2D minion attack is gonna get Grilled Chicken first blood.
Yeah, Grilled Chicken doing a pretty decent job, just mitigating the threat that Chocolamatica can establish, especially with that 2H. That 2H is going to be a very well-scouted button. You've got to be wary of that button at all times, as that will lead to a dangerous path to the loser's bracket when eventually if you want to get there. I keep forgetting this ladder format. From losing a match, per se. I'm very sorry. It's first time for everything, man.
Yeah, of course. It's all good. Just being said with the ladder, you're going to see plot a lot of players and quite a lot of Slayers, honestly. Such a popular character, one of the most popular in terms of amount of people just using the character in all levels of play. So of course it's got to be a match you're going to be familiar with if you want to make it far in this ladder. Charge Blue Wall Assault, cross up Pile Bunker, but no RC to make it count. Okay, nice throw from Grilled Chicken, one more chance to kill, and there we go. Grilled Chicken survives and gets game one.
Yeah, Grilled Chicken, the awareness is already pretty well established. It feels like they might have a little bit more knowledge about how the matchup works, and Chocolamatica is going to have to find an answer to be able to overwhelm the senses and the awareness of Grilled Chicken. This is not going to be an easy feat because we already see that they do know some of the knowledge checks. Are getting clipped here and there, which you don't want to be a forwarding Slayer in this moment in time, but we are going to go with the secondary pick. We're going to go straight into Soul Badguy.
Okay, interesting choice. The design the Slayer was not worth it. Maybe a little bit of uncomfortability in the matchup. Maybe feels that Soul, the husband, will be more familiar with his wife, Jacko. You know, might be a little better.
Yeah, we did see this match in Grand Finals as well as Winners Finals with Nitro winning Evo with the Jacko. A lot of people very remiss about why he even chose to do it, especially after he won the Winners Finals set. But we do see the potency of what Jacko can offer in this matchup, being able to lock out Soul's potency on defense and being able to lock him down long enough to be able to create any sort of opening of pressure.
But Chunko not afraid to DP right off the bat, setting the tone nice and early, forcing Grilled Chicken to take a more probably patient approach next time they get some offense started. Vortex under, but okay, Grilled Chicken got enough time to block. Blue Wall Assault, here we go. Jacko pressure is online. Minion super online, but the defend command instead of the attack, keeping the minion on the screen. The spike getting DP'd. DP gets baited, and that's gonna be enough to kill, I think.
Yeah, Forever Elysium Driver is nerfed because of the grab damage being nerfed across the board, but that still is enough to seal the deal, and that is the first round on the board in Game 2 for this open ladder for the first set on stream.
So the interesting facet of Jacko's super is that you'll see a lot of Jackos use it super early because scaling is a big factor of how much damage it does. You get it nice and early with the right starter, it will do a crap ton, and if you do a little too late, maybe a little the wrong starter, it only just tickles. But speaking of what doesn't tickle, will be a Soul, Vortex in, Tap Dust, RC, that's going to get the round. Chancla is now bringing it to a final round of game number 2.
Yeah, Chocolamatica definitely throwing a little bit more caution to the wind. That raw Vortex just going, Night Raid Vortex just going underneath a lot of these minions as well as these commands that Grilled Chicken has already been establishing. And it did pay out for this moment in time, but we are going to get the shields on the mask on play. Always wearing your mask for safety, kids. You're going to be in for a wild ride. You're going to get the fellas and putting them in a world of hurt.
Such an interesting choice to go for the shield command more often instead of with the usual attack command. But honestly, in a matchup like this against a DP character, you might want to just use the shield more because, again, as we saw earlier in the last round, the shield command survived the DP and gave a chance for Grilled Chicken to get on offense despite getting smashed out on. And again, that minion is going to seal out game number 2. Grilled Chicken looking very strong here on the Jacko.
Yeah, Grilled Chicken is doing a very fantastic job. Is doing a lot of proactive thinking, proactive play to be able to understand a lot of the strengths of the characters that they are facing. We already saw a character swap, and the knowledge that they have of the game seems to be very potent and very very useful to them as they can rotate between the notes, understand the experiences that they have taken from their previous knowledge of games that they've had against players with the same characters. It's just a matter of how they can apply it in the long run. We are going to get one more character swap for Chocolamatica. If they can't take this round, then they're going to have to fight into another match, start another round, and keep things going. But they are going to go with what is seemingly their main, as the numbers do represent a lot higher results. And I think this might be the match that they are looking for.
This is not my first time watching Chocolamatica here, and they have ran the Kai in top 8s before, so I'm not surprised to see it come out here. Definitely the most comfortable character they have here, but honestly, as it is a ladder bracket, you do have time to experiment with different characters you may be willing to try out. See, okay, maybe the Soul's working, maybe the Slayer's working. We're back on the Kai, but Grilled Chicken again off to a great start here. Legion Driver very early on, wall break. Choco on a little bit of health, but does have a little bit of meter, but spends it for the IBFD. Nice play there, got away from the Jackal pressure that was impending.
All right, there we go. They're just playing the screen game right here. You do have the ability to afford yourself some space to be able to play this game that you do want to play against Jacko, but you don't want to be too passive as you allow Grilled Chicken to be able to run the game that they've already been establishing from the get-go, from the opening gate. That Fujiark just crushing that 5H, but we are back in square one where Grilled Chicken just takes the offensive, tries to go for the burst bait, but just no dice for a greedy individual.
But still had that minion on the ground, ready to go, waiting, and caught. Choco trying to do something and got wall stuck anyway, despite using the went for a burst bait. Decided to keep it honestly low risk.
Ooh, that combo nearly whiffed by the end, but they got saved by the bell as they were able to pick up and get that wall break. That positive bonus definitely helping them. This is probably the first positive bonus that they've gotten in this entire set.
Ooh, an RC for the burst bait, but okay! Grilled Chicken actually spending it and goes for the minion super shield command. Now, given the fact that the minion shield is out, the minion command for attack comes out in 3 frames. So given the fact that the shield is up, switches to offense instead. I was going to say with the shield up, Chaco essentially has the DP at home. We'll take the damage, but we'll get out of the situation.
Yeah, Chocolate being a little bit more proactive, a lot more positive with this character. This definitely should have been the opening matchup with them for the character in question. But, you know, it's never too late to at least get something started. And they are getting things started with the Stun Dipper taking it out. We're going to get the bomb setup, but that setup is now gone and gone with the win, really.
Fool me once, fool me twice with the fireball, but the third I will 2D under. RC to cover, but I still got clipped by the minion there. Run up far side. They're not going to let Jackal set up at all, says Chocolamatica here, getting started with the Kai pressure.
Ooh,
H
that
counter,
is
and you are quite dead.
Starter. Yeah, there we go. That's the first game on the board for Chocolamatica. I keep reading that wrong. I'm just going to call him Chonkla because it's just easy, or Chonkla.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
I'm
just going to call him Chonkla.
I've definitely mixed it up. Chonkla is definitely the easier way to go about it. Don't have to worry about the Tamaka after. Or the 22.
Yeah, definitely the 22s. We got them 22 pythons. We're in the chat, brother.
Absolutely. But okay, the Kai looking good. But there goes the Elphelt Grilled Chicken on level 3,500 on the Elphelt.
We talked about picking secondaries and the character swaps, but we don't see people going from secondaries to mains as emphatically as we're going to go with Grilled Chicken. They were leading and dominating with the Jacko. Decides, you know what? I gave you a little bit too much credit. I'm going to take you out once and for all.
You fully haven't even seen my final form. Going on, we're going to New York here. 6K pressure.
Honestly, one of my favorite stages of all time. You know, you got the trolley in the background, you have the gears moving, you were able to jump over the Sacred Edge, goes for another burst bait, but again, the greed not paying off.
But honestly, if the fact that you have a 2, you're in the lead in the set, you can afford to take a little more risk. It's up to Chocolamatica to be very patient and hold on to the resources that he needs to get the win. And okay, you're gonna go into a round. I believe it's gonna kill.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, that super does a good chunk.
Yeah, this character, like Kai as a character, while he does have slightly above average health, he doesn't, like, his guts count doesn't exactly like influence a lot of positivity, but he is a relatively average health, probably slightly above average health, but still, you are going to take a lot of damage as your guts value is very low.
Kai's, yeah, right there in the middle, and Elphelt with low damage appreciates lower health characters on the other end. Makes her mix up a lot more deadly. YRC to avoid that. Oh my, whew.
What an
air throw. With that air throw.
That was a great answer from a very precarious situation. Getting it hit from the late actives of that 5H and able to confirm into death. That was a great call out from Chonkla's part.
Bomb Home Chocolate, such an important move to be aware of because it's such a great panic option on neutral because it goes over so many moves. But Chocolate ready for it, you can get very, very good reward for the right call out on that move since it's an airborne. You counter it the whole time, but Grilled Chicken using once again.
Yeah, just being a little bit outside of the deadly range of that JD to confirm off of what I like to call the Pineberry. And here we go once again, back to the wall, trying to establish a little bit of that Latin American Kai style that we've been seeing a lot of because of El Maza being on the prowl, as well as Kiske in Puerto Rico representing the Kai as well. And here we go. The lead is firmly in Chocolate's favor. A relatively 40% deficit, but still, it's really good for him to have it nonetheless.
Absolutely. Okay, both characters with 50 meter, but Chocolate needs less hits to get this win. Grilled Chicken playing it patient, spent the 50 for the PRC. Oh, caught the Bridal Express with the fireball and right into my loving arms. Thank you very much, says Chocolate, as they tie up the set 2-2.
Yeah, this is a very interesting change because we thought Grilled Chicken switching to the Elphelt would ultimately change the way that the game was going to be played, which it did to an extent, but Chocolate actually putting up a lot more fight than we initially anticipated. The character switch to Kai might have been a more positive endeavor, and it means that Grilled Chicken is going to have to start fighting a little bit more aggressively here. Going to have to start finding more answers because what they initially tried to do, what they tried to establish from the early get-go is not working against Chocolate anymore, as they're finding more success with landing these hits.
I won't lie, I was secretly hoping for the final four, maybe a level 5,000 Potemkin, I don't know. The Grilled Chicken immediately locks back in with that Elphelt and bursts right into the corner, offensive, and oh man, we're on top of that VP bait. Gonna be great reward for Elphelt here. Kara super, gonna do a good
Sing
chunk.
for me, girl. Play that silly tune I like.
Jumps in with the JH. Reset time. Elphelt can OS here, tries to get it and caught the backdash, but no full conversion. Gonna start over. Nice stun dipper from Chocolate. Gonna use the RC for more pressure.
Interesting punish. Probably was their fastest punish, logistically speaking, from that position. Getting those resets off of the Pineberry and just throwing them off their game. Are you gonna guess left? You're gonna guess right? High, low? Am I gonna continue the combo? They're just not ready. That's a big thing. Just dropping your combo to go for a reset is a risky endeavor because if you do it wrong, people are just gonna punish you and kill you for your efforts.
Right, but this time Grilled Chicken used the reset to their advantage here, realized that they didn't have really a way to hard knockdown, so decided to keep them in the corner for more pressure. Doesn't want to risk playing neutral against Kai. Honestly, I feel you. I'm the same way. Oh, what a shimmy! Jumping over, but this is the punish combo.
Just low profiling under the projectile, one of the weaker projectiles of this game, probably one of the more lesser projectiles of overall, but has been low profile. Still has some utility in a sense, but that YRC will get you going as the cross up pushes you to the corner now. But now we're back to square one.
Ooh, the good player check. You and I are all victims to it. The tap does RC low, full combo, putting us to a final game, final round. Who wants it more?
Yeah, I've talked about this over in Howling Hostility, but this is a type of tech that has always existed, but for some reason has been highly represented now this season more than anything. This last couple of months, people have been really representing that option, and we did see this as well in Evo Top 6 with Jack using that against Nitro.
No RC, but now spends it here. Wants to get that one last pressure, building the risk as much as they can here. Fudoar backdash, 6H, no 5H, sorry. That's not gonna, those look so similar, I swear.
It really does.
Looks like it goes in. Okay, gonna be a good spot here, super wall break. Yes, indeed. All right, yeah. Chocolate does have not quite full burst. Oh, we're gonna have it in about 1 second here. And 50 meter has option to get away from that Elphelt pressure, but gets caught running into a grenade. Okay, shot, reset in neutral.
Yeah, you just got to hold it out. You got a little bit of life. You get that gold burst out. It was really aggressive play there, using the stun dipper to get through, just evading the close slash, but just dropping right at the pivotal moment. And goes with a throw. There's going to be enough to kill right here.
Wow. Insane reverse. Was that reverse 3-0?
Reverse 3-0. It was reverse.
Against FriskyWalrus. Love that name against on the Testament here.
Yeah, speaking of the devil, and the devil will surely arrive in tow, and we're going to get things started with Scambolini putting the offense on the board as soon as the opening gate arrives. Now we're going to get FriskyWalrus getting counter hit by that Foudre, and they're going to get the first wall break into Sacred Edge.
Find that stun. Stay going to have a lot better time pressure, but misses the meaty 5K. FriskyWalrus, road recognition, got the mash out, but not going to save you from stun dipper. My beloved, another Sacred Edge is going to kill. First blood goes to Scambolini.
Yeah, again, Scambolini is a member of like the coaching scene where he does offer a lot of advice. A lot of players can be able to get coaching for him if they ever need it, and is always willing to give a little bit more advice, especially on his streams. Very active, especially in the online scene. And I remember I had the privilege and the honor of fighting him in bracket. One of the most solid Kais to really do it. Has really good stagger game, and we're gonna get to see a lot of that today, as we're gonna see quite a lot of potency from those pokes and a lot of threat off the Foudre arcs.
Speaking of Foudre, jumping right over that Grave Brewer, important aspect of this matchup is Kai's tools. His Testament is indeed a projectile zoner, but that being said, Kai has the tools to fight back in that war and win it, just like Scambolini did there, getting the nice calm throw to take our first game here.
Yeah, it's always a very fun time to witness a lot of Kais, especially with a very strong fundamental game like the aforementioned Kais that I've been mentioning. You have your Kenseis, you have your Scambolinis, you have your Rins, you have your Ferns. You have so many people who are picking up the character and just doing a really great job. A lot of them being in the online scene, some of them going into majors. A lot of the community, I feel like the top 3 characters that you see represented, especially in the trans community, whether it be Soul, whether it be Bridget, or it be Kyle.
Absolutely, and a character like I mentioned earlier, just honestly, sometimes less is more. You don't want to have. Well, honestly, the thing that happens with a lot of Kais, it's just moves are so simple. They do the same things. His combo routes are honestly around the same too. But even with that, you'll see so many Kais do different routes. It allows for sometimes that restriction gives a sense of freedom to certain players. And if you're about that style, and you'll end up playing Kai like people have never seen before, they'll come back like, how do you do this with a character with 3 moves? Like, I just laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like overall, the creativity is a major factor that you have to implement whenever it comes to characters who kind of work around these limitations that a lot of the top characters just have above you in this situation. We are going to get the Succubuses out to play, and we're going to get them out to cause a little bit of havoc for Scambolini. They're going to have to hold this from full screen, but Scambolini having no trouble to finally inch their way back, getting into the mid screen where they so desperately want to play. They got sniped out by the Stun Dipper, so they're back to square one.
Jump over the Graper into the Stun Dipper. Gonna close out that round for Scambolini. Nice play, just keeping it nice and patient, looking for the opportunities to get around the bullet hell that is indeed Testament neutral.
And there we go, that's one of the... Yeah, that opposing 6P, one of the best 6Ps in the game, with the way that it has so much vertical and horizontal reach. That button might as well be in a tier of its own, but one button isn't going to win you a game, and that's been shown time and time again with Testament being in the lower reaches of the tier list, as many people do care about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. The air stall on the Grave Reaper bought them a little time, but right into a waiting Kai. Ooh, what a YRC bait. Really good knowledge there of FriskyWalrus' defensive habits. Only 1 game in, well now 2 games in, and we're looking to close it out in a quick fashion here. But it's going to be up to FriskyWalrus to figure out how Scambolini is going to try to approach this next couple games to close it out and figure out, maybe, okay, they're jumping here, Stun Dippering here, maybe I go for a 2H instead. A risky move, but given how many buffs it's got over and over again, it's honestly a great neutral tool if you have the timing. And being one of Testament's best starters, you can definitely make a comeback with that move you place in the right spots.
A lot of Testament players definitely have a lot of verbal debates about whether or not the character has either ultimately gotten stronger, or if they have managed to either degrade or been the same. But, a lot of Testament players still rocking it out. It's like SYMPHUUKAI really representing that Testament play, placing very consistently in the TNS with that Testament. And it goes to show you how important it really shows if you have that mental fortitude, that ability to get creative on the fly and use that 2-step process to your advantage. But that is not the case here, as Scambolini is blitzing through FriskyWalrus' defenses and just making it a hell on earth to be able to control the screen, as he's just blitzing through every gap that is imaginable.
Something I really noted from Scambolini that I really liked there, on that first round there, they decided not to super hard knockdown, which is honestly a thing that's been the staple of Season 3, especially early on when we had Wallsell having hard knockdown. You just wanted to break the wall as much as you can, get positive moments as much as you can. But honestly, I like how the new changes incentivize just keeping the meter for a better neutral, which is what Kai is so good at. And there we go, 5H, Foudre Arc, the classic, is going to kill and send us to the end of our set here. Scambolini 3-0. To be 1-0 as they move on in their ladder. FriskyWalrus, of course.
What people are used to limitations. Skullduggers, one of many great, very strong Faust players in the region, and Skullduggers, I've actually fought them in bracket, and I think I did fight them in the J-Easy Clash. We are going to be rolling around with the gravity, and we're going to see the real truth behind what lies behind this game plan that we're going to be seeing today.
Skull definitely a fan favorite among people watching and fighting against Faust. As honestly one of my homies, I love watching him play. He just has so many. His situational awareness is honestly one of a kind. You'll find a situation where Skull has. You can make a donut do a TOD. I promise you. All right, just trust. Just keep watching. All right. He makes it happen. It does not make sense.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. Like people trying to contest with like projectiles, and it's like. That bullet didn't even come out of the barrel in time by the time that Far Slash was able to reach from all the way over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just shoved the scalpel straight into the gun there. Just stuffed it and blew it up in Elphelt's face. But speaking of blowing up, here we go. That explosive Elphelt pressure gonna get in. Skull doing a great job of blocking IBFD to prevent anything else to come out. Mixus is interrupted. Gonna give Asset one more chance here. Throw.
Yeah, Asset being aware that Skullduggers is going to be using a lot of these defensive options to try and push them back as far away as possible so that they can get their game plan running. And Asset is going to take a round apiece. They're going to have to share a little bit of the same pie right here as they're going to fight their way through the Oval Office and really going to have to gamble it out as every single politician in this room is going to watch these two duke it out for the entertainment of the United States.
I didn't know the United States love watching meteors rain down in their own office space, but that seems to be double mini Faust. Love to see it. Gonna be a walking burst for Skull here as they combo in to the scalpel pull.
And they're gonna get a clean hit to boot as well. They're gonna use the projectile to be able to skip neutral, but that bomb is in play. But just as explosive as the music is, that bomb definitely covered a lot of the screen. Gonna play a little bit more of my soundtrack. You like my SoundCloud music going on right here? I hope you do, because I'm gonna play a little bit more for you for the rest of the day. We're gonna get a wall break using that burst to try and get the burst bait, but maybe greed is gonna be the factor that leads to their downfall here.
Okay, teleport in PRC for the close slash to go right through. Ooh, what a lava assault to confirm off that 2H into the JK. Gonna give Skull our first game here. Something I want to go back to in this matchup, and especially with these two players specifically, is that honestly just general Elphelt knowledge. And there were two very key adaptations there. So off a move like, for example, 2H, most characters, I believe almost all, can 6P an immediate Rekka after 2H, which is really important as a defender against Elphelt, because once again, once that Rekka first hit gets started, the high and low are essentially unfuzzable. You have to guess. So to avoid that guessing game, they gave a little bit of gaps to 6P, maybe backdash, and Skull used that immediately, but Asset noticed it and went right away for a blue wall assault off of 2H to counter hit a 6P and get their offense rolling for a little longer. But Skull was able to close out in the end, but that will be the end of the Elphelt as we go to the EVO champion, Jacko.
Yeah, we're gonna go from one. We're gonna go from one wifey to the next as we're gonna be getting the number one wifey, the character that got a lot of players into the game, the Rule 34 Queen herself. She is gonna be out to play with the minions.
Absolutely, going from one Valentine to another. Let's see if this one does a little better. Okay, jumping right over the minion, but backdash right into that foot.
Yeah, I think there's some people who are maybe getting the misconception of how ladder works. So if you could do us a favor and explain to people a little bit, just a little brief summary of how ladder works out as we're getting this action underway.
Oh yeah, of course. So ParagOnline's ladder for Strive, or just how all ladders work, will essentially be an open queue. So what happens is whenever you're ready to play, put yourself in the queue, and they'll match you up with somebody who's around the same level. There's a couple levels, but they don't really matter as to the end result, but they will matter as to who you have a chance to get queued up with. Whatever you have, you'll play that out, and then from there, you can honestly just keep going, take a break. It's a 2-hour runtime for the ladder, so you keep playing as much or as little as you want, get your record up, and then based on the records that the top 8 players get, that'll move on to a top cut, which will be a regular bracket double elimination style.
Yeah,
for now, we're going into the ladder. Yeah, it's just everyone's gonna play as much as they want.
Yeah, the cool thing about this too is like this is probably one of the rule set. Even if this bracket has already gotten started with the tournament out in droves, it's still time to be able to enter because it is a 2-hour ladder format. So you are able to join, even if you are watching right now and you're considering joining this bracket, or you feel like it might be too late. It's never too late to join this bracket. You could always join right now if you feel the need to. You can play as many matches as you want as long as it's within the 2-hour time limit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can your wins nice and early, call it there, see what happens, or just wait until the last moment to go in and see if you could collect some scraps here. Get yourself
the backwards hitbox just saving them. That's twice that this has actually happened. Skulldugger's getting saved by the hammer, and Acid getting hit by that PRC still getting hit by that Acid's 5H.
Acid getting really aggressive, but then running away, just mixing up the timings here with Jacko as something you really want to be aware of. And there we go, Tap Dust gonna close out that round, putting Acid into a final round game 2, potentially get on the board, but it's up to Skull to keep that from happening here.
Yeah, right now already Acid is doing a lot more in this matchup with the Jacko than they were doing originally with the Elphelt and that fuzzy overhead. I've seen that time and time again. I fought Sand very consistently, and they used to hit that setup on me, and it was a difficult endeavor to have to deal with. So the fact of the matter is, we're going to be in for a ride if Skullduggers cannot play around that. But Skullduggers is lowering the deficit, and the health lead is going to slowly start waning as time goes on.
Ooh. This is what I mean. Such great combo knowledge and a bait on the super. Skull simply just knows. Gonna get a combo to the wild something. No, just barely missed, but use the Scarecrow to avoid the bomb. But Acid was ready to block and get a punish into the corner here. Dash cancel, no bite from Skull.
Oh, that was really great awareness.
More than enough here, yes.
Yeah, that was really good. Their awareness was at 100 right there. Acid just being a little bit more cautious about the switch up, waiting for Skullduggers to go for the side swap. They were just ready right then and there, opting to save that meter, being a little bit more cautious once they had the advantage from the positional advantage. They really were doing a good job of just keeping Skullduggers away from being able to play the air game that they want to their liking, and that gives Acid the ability to get a point on the board.
Absolutely. And something that Acid tried to use in that game, which I thought was a really smart choice from Skull here, was actually they went for the shield super, which obviously gives Jacko insane options in neutral, since the minions do stay on the field no matter what, even if Jacko gets hit, pass a block. And Skull, using that to advantage, used the recovery of that move to go for a scalpel pull, or rather thrust, which is a hit grab. So that whole time, Jacko had no options to get away.
Here we go. The meteors are out in full force. Decides not to go for the side swap, just threatening the same side, and we're gonna get a throw bait off of that JD, if I'm not mistaken, or the J2K. That J2K being so potent in the arsenal of Faust. People really sleep on that move, as it's just very tricky to even anti-air.
Yeah, definitely a staple move of Faust kit. Gonna give Skull a first round here in game number 3. Goes right over that shooting punch with the JD, forcing an early burst from Acid here. Has less resources to work with. Definitely don't want to have that against Faust. You can set up so many tricky situations with Mini Faust being the prime example. Mix use the Mini Faust to stay plus and actually got a counter at slow slash as a result.
Yeah,
Mini Faust again, same plus hammers. Keep it nice and non-committal.
There you go, Skullduggers making the adaptations necessary. That game 2 was definitely more nip and tuck, but Skullduggers got the download and immediately strutted their entire game plan, just not giving Acid even a moment to breathe.
Definitely got a little lucky on the pulls, having multiple Mini Fausts and hammers to work with. Just using those items to just keep the plus frames going. Go for setups that normally would be extremely unsafe, like Mix Mist, but use the Mini Faust jump animation to actually cover themselves, keep themselves plus, and then keep that pressure going for as long as they want. And again, using the hammer to walk back and forth, just see where Acid wants to get out, and just using as little risk as possible. When you have items that are just huge hitboxes going across the screen, a walking one, a vertical one, you just why commit to something that I don't have to if I've got my homies covering me at each and every angle.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, the fellas are out in full force. You might as well just take full advantage of them. The homies are going to keep your back nice and steady, keep you nice and covered. Acid is going to have to force the burst out in order to keep themselves alive for just a little longer. Skullduggers is really healthy with the burst and with the lead, but the health is about even, but that thrust is going to make the difference.
Skull using a really good job playing against minion neutral, using 5k jump cancel to keep themselves active, even despite having to hit a minion and being stuck. Will usually be a hit stun to get hit by a second one. And there we go. Skull using great combo game there to put us into a tournament. It's not a tournament. That would have been crazy if it was tournament point. But indeed, it is set point for Skull. After getting started with Jacko pressure dash cancel, keep themselves plus off the minion. Blue wall sell for more plus frames. Waiter, please. I want to be plus offense forever, but Goldberg is going to get rid of the shield super there.
Oh, as we're talking about the minions came out in full force. We talk about Faust, Mini Faust being able to protect them as a burst and a DP. That minion came out and protected them from the thrust, being able to go into the grab version of it.
Great coverage from Acid here, looking to stay alive. Bring us to game 5. Acid such a great starter for a Jackal pressure.
Yeah, Acid is getting things started. We see the dominance of game 3, and game 4 is looking a little bit more nip and tuck, a lot more dicey for Skullduggers. It feels like both these players are adapting at a really rapid rate, and that's always something to be mindful of and always be careful of when you're entering bracket. You're going to come across some real heavy hitters, and that's going to hit all the way in the sky, but you're not going to really punish anything from there.
Oh, did not get the 5HH. They would have been the ones to get a nice combo on the punish there. Oh yeah, just getting the hang of the air-to-air game is going to be what Faust needs to get this game off. When you have items that control ground space so well, you're so incentivized to jump. But Skull being on top of that was able to get some key air-to-air.
They were able to get a burst bait here.
Burst bait, huge for Asset. That's going to be more than enough to kill. Yep, going straight into super. Now I want to risk dropping the combos as Asset as we go into a game 5 off of the losing driver. Great stuff from Asset.
Wow, Acid just doing a lot more proactive work right here. It's a bit more work than they are anticipating, but they are putting a lot of pain on top of Skullduggers. They're really making Skullduggers have to reconsider quite a lot of their approaches. They were doing very good at being able to mitigate the threat of these minions, but they just don't have any answers when they start getting set up. When you have more than one minion, it just makes the gameplay that much more difficult to have to circumvent. And Skullduggers right now is level with Asset, as this match is very level. This is another game 5 situation. I feel it's so interesting that we got him back to back.
I'd love to see the level of competition high right off of the gate. No one's really separating themselves from the pack yet. All these levels are about the same, so that anyone can match up with anybody. So that being said, you can get some really close sets right off the bat here, which you'd love to see. Skull getting a great J2K to start, forcing Acid to burst.
All right, here we go. Acid with no burst, but Skullduggers is trying to enforce the plus frames by using that blue wild assault, using that J2K to advance and be able to throw Acid off their game. Not going to go for the wall break, going to go for the reset off of the anvil. Try to get the fuzzy, but nothing really paying off there.
Really interesting setup. I've never seen that one before, but still managed to get a wall break. Skull in a great spot. Huge health lead. Backs off. But Asset not relenting anything here, but gets caught by the super. Your shins are now Faust. I hate to say mutate to you, but we're going to a next round. Skull in a great advantage here, both in round and resource count here. Asset having little to no burst to work with, while Skull having half. Not necessarily a get out of jail free card, but going to be useful for Wild Assault or the Flex Shield if they so choose.
Yeah, being able to utilize the resources to your advantage to be able to secure some of the offense that you really are really in need of at all times. But the loops are coming in. These loops may not be sponsored by Kellogg's, but you're going to be getting in for a nice bowl of cereal afterwards.
Absolutely, Jack doing her best soccer mom impression, sending the kids out. Another minion. Dash cancel the start pressure again. But Skull running out. Good dash block. Not letting, got chased. Don't want Jackal to get started. Nice.
The trade favoring
Skullduggers.
Yeah, that trade really favored Skullduggers there. The minion did hit him, but didn't launch him out of the way, as Acid is now going to be in a world of pain as that wall break is going to go through. Positive bonus, health deficit, relatively even, but either way, you don't want to get hit. As they were aware at all times, able to get that back throw incident. Now it's game 5, last round. Double Waluigi standards. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a game on our hands.
Absolutely, what a set. To making names with themselves, finding its Skull such a prominent player, but handling the Faust pressure well. Had a great read on the teleport PRC with a throw. There's a signature staple of Faust neutral with meter, but now Skull's to think about using that again. Goes for it anyway. I don't care. Thank you very much. Forcing the burst from Asset there to stay alive. Good 5K jump cancel to get around the minion. Asset gets another one up, and there goes the Jackal pressure 2K 2D. No hard knock through the air hit.
Yeah, a lot of the time I've seen a lot of people, especially Faust players, really good Faust players, they utilize that Scarecrow so well to be able to get out of tight situations. The moment you give them any sort of leeway, they will use that Scarecrow as best as a reversal can be, and it will take you to the other side to victory. And Skullduggers from double top A, and their Giovanna is very solid, but we have seen how much MFCR has really strut their stuff. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of MFCR really pulling out the stunts, but Wild, you can't count out yet. I've had the privilege of watching them play and being able to commentate their game plan, so it's just a matter of time before we get to see what Wild could do.
Wild, definitely an up-and-coming Geo player on the competitive scene, but they're going against an absolute veteran and monster in TNS's own MFCR and the Leo OG, and starting off showing their strength with a perfect, using the Leo to their full extent here.
Yeah, Wild making. I mean, the consensus is known that Wild just really hates Leo Whitefang. I would know this personally, as I did to see them in chat. They are vocal about the hate that they have for this character, but that's just the kind of nature that you have to deal with when it comes to the game like this. Try to get the deflect shield, but the Wild Assault instead came out as MFCR is going to take the first game on the board and really set the tone for the rest of the set.
Only got hit a single time in that first game, looking incredibly strong as always. MFCR is such an experienced player, sticking to Leo since, I believe, the outset of the game, just playing. Like I said, when you stick to a character for that long, you just get that familiarity with everything that's going on. You learn the matchups, and that's all you need to just push a character to a level that MFCR has. And while, as you said, doesn't seem to like the Leo matchup very much, but in a ladder bracket like this, anything can happen. This might not even be your only set with MFCR. If you keep playing well, you might run into again. So you have to get used to this stuff. You're going to weather the storm.
Yeah, weathering the storm is a constant thing, regardless of what bracket you're in, whether it be the ladder format, Swiss format, 2v2s, 3v3s. Hell, you can even do crew battles. It doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, you're just going to have to expect the unexpected. There's an old saying that I've been taught, expect nothing, prepare for everything. And that is the sentiment you have to have in a setting like this. You have to always be ready for everything and anything.
Anything can happen, especially, again, like I was mentioning a few times earlier, in a ladder bracket like this, you can run into the same opponent more than once. So, honestly, you can take this chance for download, take this chance. It's not over yet. You got to learn how to deal with these characters, how to deal with these matchups, and oh my goodness, that is second game already. I barely even blinked. MFCR looking absolutely untouchable as they go up 2-0 in this set. While they're going to have to figure it out quick, or it'll be a quick victory for MFCR here, but I believe that Gio can turn around. She has the tools to keep Leo guessing, but again, Leo's always been known for his defense since the very beginning of the game. It has got nerfed. It's no longer DP into automatic win com, thankfully, but the threat of the move being a flash kick, being an easy input such as that, always makes it a threat at any stage in the game. It's up to Wild to keep that mind game in their favor as they move on to game 3 here.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm looking at the chat right now, and at this point in time, Wild definitely getting a little bit turned over because of the feelings of the character. I think it's kind of detrimental at times to be able to let that get the best of you. I've been there. I've gotten salty, but we are gonna get the Slayer here as MFCR is gonna go around being a little bit dandy on main. We're gonna have Wild fighting it out against MFCR Slayer, and we're gonna see how different the game plan is and the mentality is for MFCR when he starts running his game against Wild's Giovanna.
Definitely no longer Leo, but I wouldn't be happy about this character swap either because Slayer is such a threat. He can end this set incredibly quickly with the right opportunity. But Wild using a back SB receive, but MFCR more than ready. Wires he's away, but okay. Wild already with the clean Slayer counterplay, getting a well-timed throw on the Master's Hammer, keeping the pressure with the meter. Throw RC is going to close out this first round. Good stuff for Wild, looking at like a whole new player. Maybe it is the matchup.
Overall, this is more of a positive turn of events that are going for Wild, but you are right in the sense that this new character is always something to be careful about. You've got to be mindful that this character is something that to be careful of at all times. You don't want to even get hit once, and the likelihood that you are going to possibly get TOD'd. But as I'm talking about it, Wild is putting a lot of damage on the board. The comparison between the last 2 games versus this game is that Wild really just landing a lot more hits, especially necessary hits against MFCR. MFCR not really having the defensive opportunities and tools to be able to get these hits that they want to prevent Wild from running any game.
Absolutely, and Slayer with relatively stubbier poke still has that 2H, gotta look out for it. But Wild able to use that movement to control the pace a lot better, and we see that work to a full extent as Wild gets on the board, making it a 1-2 set. But will MFCR just be like, all right, I gotta win this set, I gotta get my ladder record better? Will we see the Leo come back?
Yeah, that is a very good question. Somebody did point this out, and I was confused about it too. I don't know if this is a rule set that is very specific to ParagOnline, but that was a good question. Somebody mentioned that MFCR switching was as a result of a win rather than a loss. Usually, the rule set is when you lose a match, you are then allotted a switch. But MFCR was able to switch even during a win. I'm not sure if this is only enforced during top 8 or if this is just a rule overall. But nonetheless, we are still going to get things underway. It doesn't seem like MFCR is complaining. It doesn't look like we're having any problems whatsoever with the TOs. So it looks like this might be a rule that might be let go and might be able to keep on going, keep on trucking.
Yep, all good at the end of the day. Wild definitely looking a lot better as a result of it, so I'm sure Wild will not say a word about it. So we're looking good here. All right, 214 SRC and catching the match with the close slash. Good stuff, looking a whole lot better on the Geo.
Yeah, the Giovanna, it definitely feels like this definitely is more of a comfortable matchup for Wild here, as we did see in the early get-go that they were able to grab the Master's Hammer, but the damage output is still something to be scared about, as that is just one major hit and a perfect can really set the tone for the rest of the match if you just keep things rolling underway. Starting things off with a far slash and forcing Wild to throw out the burst.
And that burst is going to actually work out, a little offensive. Keeping that pressure going, and there we go. Gonna do a good chunk of health here, even despite Slayer's high health pool. Chio's got that high damage, so he's gonna even out here. So just a calm little 60% gone. Throw. Guard crush time and throw again. Gonna seal it out. Okay, we have a 2-2 set, ladies and gentlemen. Wild is very much alive and well.
Yeah, so I did definitely get some confirmation here. I'm looking at it right now. And the reason why the rule wasn't enforced, usually this rule would definitely get enforced. The only reason why this rule didn't get enforced the way it was, that it usually does, is because there was a gentleman's agreement between the players. So there were no issues had in that regard. Normally this rule does get enforced, but you know, when the two players decide, okay, this is the plan and we're going to keep going with it. It's not collusion. It is just merely two players agreeing. And especially putting themselves on the line here, because this is their tournament. This is their tournament journey that they're going to have to go through at the end of the day. If they make the agreement to do so and it's a mutual agreement, then TOs realistically have to just let them play it out. Unless there's really strict rules that say, nope, this is how things are going to go and we're going to just keep things rolling. But altogether, these two are playing chill. These two are sitting pretty. We are going to get the last match playing their most comfortable characters. MFCR and Wild are 2 points apiece, and we're going to keep things underway with a very steady approach here.
A.B.A. in that same vein, Wild just announced in chat that they are not willing to win on MFCR's second day. They want to get the win nice and legit, despite evening out the set. Okay, good block again on the BRC, but again, the tip of that DP is deceptively far-reaching, and that's going to give MFCR just enough to get that Leo blender started. Double cross-up into the stall. Wonderful.
Yeah, we're going for a Wild Riot. That can opener super just not going to do you any favors. Wild is definitely down in the set, like definite in the match per se, but Wild is not completely out. We already saw what they could do if they just get a little bit of momentum swinging their way, and we did see that we got some positive turn of fortune for them, so it might just be enough to be able to get things going for them, as this is going to hurt a lot, and this is going to be at least a good 50% of your life.
50% of your life is more than what Geo needs to keep that pressure going. But again, yes, Eyes in Stormo is going to keep Leo alive, keep MFCR in it as we get that Leo blender started again. Cross up block this time, but not the second or the third or the fourth.
You know it. It's just a fucking Gastuber bonanza here. Pardon my French here. I was talking for the EU lads over in the EU EMEA district, and honestly, I might be getting a little too excited
for taking in that round. But speaking of taking rounds, we got 2 round takers in Asuka and Slayer. One, the slow and steady death by 1,000 cubes, and the other one saying, I just want to punch you really hard. PineappleHour on the Slayer, a former mate, bro. So I see you on the Slayer. You know, sometimes made damage isn't high enough. We gotta go even further. If we get much higher.
Yeah, like, I love the fact that you brought that death by 1,000,000 cubes. I was there at EVO 2024 when we were watching the top 6 when Xando was there. The only familiar name in that bracket that made it as a regular, and just the crowd cheering on cubes as everyone was having a great, fantastic time. And honestly, I can't wait to see how much more chaotic this could get as PineappleHour does fight Rain in this bracket and is able to keep things rolling, as we are going to get some cube action already. Can we get some cubes in the chat? Just spam them with all your being, please.
Please. Love to see cube. All right. Ran out a little one for a second there. 2H barely whipping. Good back up from Rain. Keeping the spacing nice and tight. Going to keep Slayer away. Please back off with that cube super. Thank you very much. Blue all the salt. Keep the pressure going.
Yeah, I summoned Exodia using that hollow purple, trying to get them away, using the sacred text to guard crush them, and finally snipping them with those cubes. And here we go. This is the gauntlet that you have to overcome as a Slayer player, just fighting people with so much ranged options. But that is no mana. The white mage is definitely out of mana, and you don't want to be taking too many hits. This is most certainly death if you even get shipped out or die or get hit once. But mana is recharged. We're gonna get the Brag Throw incident, and we're gonna reset from here.
What a long first round so far. PineappleHour staying patient, waiting for the right opportunity, and Rain weathering the storm with no mana and got it all back to keep that Asuka uninteractive pressure going forever and ever. Super, no cubes on deck, has to use blue also to keep the pressure going. No cancel option. PineappleHour just barely missing that 2S, and again, Rain gets the corner one more time. Blue Auto Assault has to spend the burst, or it's at extreme risk of losing this round here. Again,
there we go.
Pineapple locked in.
Yeah,
How long was that round?
That round was probably that was the longest round of Guilty Gear I've ever witnessed, and trust me, I've been there. Like the longest I've ever gone was probably 50 seconds, and even then, this is pushing it. But here we, or 40 seconds. But here we go again. Rain did a very good job of just locking down Pineapple in the corner. Every time Pineapple tried to escape, Rain just kept them locked down, kept them steady in the corner. Rain's defense is very solid, but you do have to face the onslaught that comes from not having any mana. But they're gonna lock in, they're gonna get their resources back, getting this TK Screamer. But now you're back into the corner. What are you gonna do here?
Ooh, I got hit. I'm not gonna lie, I got hit by that double crosser. You me, but Rainuchiha having better defense than I am. But using the tap does to close out this round, perhaps with the right route.
And this is gonna, no, he doesn't get the super. The super did not come out in time. I don't know if this was an execution error, but this was the plan all along. But they do YRC off the rip. I don't know about the deflect shield there. May have been a misinput there. I'm not entirely sure. But they've got to hold out. They've got no resources, and they got hit by that charge dust.
Oh my goodness, what a way to end it. Rainuchiha are going for attack dust, PineappleHour deflecting, and you say, hey, I got a charge dust. I'm trying to end this round right now. Use it to its full extent. 40 frame start, it means nothing in the face of Slayer mental stack. Here we go, Rain getting the offense started once again. Good mash. RC into the 6K to catch the movement from Pineapple.
Very creative. We're seeing a little bit more of that tap dust tech, but this time with other differentiating normals. We get a raw overhead off the 6H into 6K. Now that DP spell is gone, but you're going to experience the joys of Exodia.
Got that. I believe that's the repel staff, not the gravity staff. Not a staff you see very often, because sometimes it makes the cube bounce in directions you may not want it to go, but sometimes I've seen it just, sometimes you'll see a fire cube just dribble across the screen like he's playing basketball. But okay, speaking of throwing you into the corner, it's my turn now. Plus 27, thank you very much. Ooh, RC from Rain getting plenty of time to react to that dash, and that's going to give Rainuchiha our very first game, a long one at that.
Yeah, this is probably one of the longest. This is one of the longest game ones too. This is probably the longest game one so far. But there is a very big elephant in the room I want to address, and that is the fact that Rain has established two mistakes. One of them is the execution error before the kill to get the cube super, and then the biggest one I would have to probably point out is the fact that they didn't go for the RC off of the throw to be able to go for the kill. I don't know what the reset was, but they had two ample opportunities to kill, and they dropped both of them. And that is something you have to take note as a competitor. If you know your opponent isn't going to go for the kill, you take advantage of that. That is a mental note you must take, because that means your opponent is going to get overwhelmed. And if they're doing that when in a position where they're in the lead, God forbid if they're on the back foot.
Very hard. It's the life of an Asuka player. You have to be on top of all these things at all times. You have to play perfect, especially against a character with such high damage output as Slayer. You got to be on point at all times. Anything can happen. You give Slayer the chance. And as Asuka, you have so many things to look at. You have your resources, your spell count, your mana, your everything, and keep it at that. Sometimes you're not even looking at Slayer cross up with the power bunker as PineappleHour gets our first round here in game 2.
All right, keeping things nice and sweet for this game 2. PineappleHour doing a pretty decent job, just getting the first round on the board. You know, keeping things nice, simple, sweet, to visually appealing to the eyes. The teleport is going to get you from the other side, and we're going to restock on that mana. A little bit risky there, as PineappleHour did decide to back off, but that could have easily gone the worst way possible here.
Ooh, tricky little setup there, but PineappleHour weathering the storm and catching the mistake with the throw. No mana on the half of Rain. Gonna have to block this out. Gets caught by the low, Dany said.
All right, hits him with the Hand of Doom here with the backdash 6S, and we're gonna take game 2. This was a lot more dominant as opposed to the previous game where things were just a lot more even by default. But now PineappleHour evening the scoreboard. Both of these players one piece of the pie, 1 point on the board each, and we're gonna get things going with another game. They're gonna stick with the same characters, but the game plan has not changed. Both these players are in it to win, and both of these players are in it for the long haul.
Both characters want to interact with their opponent as little as possible. One doing it by ending the round in 2 seconds, the other one doing it end the round in 77. But it's going to see who's strong here. Good far slash misses the 6H.
Finally got the crossover he's been looking for too. Rainuchiha was very good, very pragmatic on the defense, but be able to deal with the crossovers from PineappleHour. But this time, Pineapple starting to overwhelm the mental, and we're gonna get a wall break off of this. Are we gonna get a dead on time? Yes, we are. I know it's called Super Mappa Hunch, but I'm calling it dead on time because that's what it looks like to me.
Dead on time. It works. It comes right on time to get rid of that mana from Rainuchiha. Double cross up. Where are you looking? I'm over here, says Slayer, as we get that round 1 in Pineapple's favor. Nice little cube round start for Rainuchiha, but gets caught by the 2D. Watch your toes, excuse me, sir. Going in, close slash, bite. Uh-oh, it's party time. The flex shield to avoid a high-low.
Yeah, that high-low was a dangerous situation. Getting hit by that love bite, getting a little bit of a tap on the belly to let you know that I'm gonna be here for a little while, give you a little something to remember me by. But we are gonna get some shimmies. I think we're playing a little bit of Street Fighter the way we're doing these throw loops, trying to get these shimmies off. But unfortunately, that's the wrong game, and we're not gonna get. I forgot. I thought he had. I'm looking at the wrong side. I thought he was gonna get Last Horizon.
Woo, man, a character like Slayer that could just mix you up with only his dash. And combine that with his close slash being the move that crosses you up, with no scaling starter on a character like Slayer, on a character like Asuka being on defense, it's just so scary, and that's what PineappleHour takes full advantage of as we get to a 2-1 lead for them.
Yeah, you always got to be mindful. You know, again, a wise person told me momentum is a myth. It doesn't matter how good you're doing in bracket. It doesn't matter how well you think you're doing. If you can't close out a game, what's the purpose of momentum? You've got to close those out. You got to keep things rolling. Otherwise, that momentum does you no favors and does you nothing in the long run. Momentum doesn't win you games. What wins you games is sealing out that last pixel of health.
Absolutely, it ain't over until that health bar is reduced to 0. That is the fighting game 101. Speaking of reducing health to 0, oh, nope, just kidding. A little whiff on the pile bunker. Gonna give Rainuchiha a second chance. Get these arpeggios rolling, but a burst to avoid any type of mix-up. PineappleHour using it on a defensive manner, not necessarily get out of combo, but to get that Slayer pressure started. I 100% agree because Asuka was indeed low mana, but you missed the pile bunker wall break. That would have been more than enough to kill. But unfortunately now, Asuka's at a full bar mana, but only 1 cube on deck. PineappleHour might be able to pay attention, but got another one. Hold on.
Yeah, they're building up a little bit of these cubes. They're starting to build up over time, but that YRC just disrupts the timing. They're able to get the close touch again off that BRC, that repel cube, or that repel staff. Just doing a lot of work here. This is enough to kill, and it shows again. The momentum is swinging again. Pixel health on mostly both these characters. You're gonna get chipped out if you're not careful. You have no meter to deal with this. If they can just press their advance, they're just dead, and that's all she wrote.
Oh my gosh. Rainuchiha working with no cubes there. Decides to send it with the book. Knowledge is power. The classic saying worked out for Rainuchiha there. Staying alive despite having nothing to work with. Use the gravity spell. Actually, it was the repel staff to make a use of a huge vacuum looping combo to get such a massive damage output even on Slayer. Good block on the cross of pop, but no punish. Yeah, it's okay. We still got out, forced to burst.
Yeah, Pineapple definitely forcing the burst out. Rainuchiha being very abrasive there, just going up with a run-up close slash, and we're going to get a crossover into a big boy combo. Let me show you how a real man does it.
Here we go. Oh, went low there on the Rubik's Cube setup, jumping away from that 6K. That would have been an insane way for Finals to get that round, but the Mappa Hunch, the tried and true, going to give PineappleHour a set point here, but Rainuchiha just needs 1 round to take it to Game 5. How are we going to make that happen?
Yeah, his hand isn't all too great. He has some cubes on deck, but the hand isn't the best in the world. He is trying to dig for a little bit more cards, but PineappleHour doesn't have too many things he has to worry about as of currently. But we are going to get a nice sequence for Rainuchiha as they're going to dig into their hand, probably look for their bag of tricks, but instead they're just going to hold out for some time.
But here's the thing, health is a resource when you are Slayer. You're allowed to make more mistakes than usual. Mappa Hunch. Okay, using the spell search, or deck search rather, to get the nice little card. Got Fire Cube into our pressure, the classic Asuka combo. Catches PineappleHour moving, but no finisher. A little bit of chip is going to cost the game, and there we go. PineappleHour not FDing all of that. And that's going to give us to a game 5 here. Rainuchiha still staying alive. I'm not sure if I'm mishearing, but are you calling Rainuchiha Rangchu?
I'm saying rain. I'm just saying rain.
Dude, okay. I'm been Tekken pilled recently. I was like, dude, I don't know Rangchu was
Yeah,
balling
you're
out
hearing
Asuka.
Rangchu. Your brain is truly Tekken riding right now. You're hearing a lot of Rangchu. I know what you're talking about, but I'm just calling him rain.
All right, my bad. Okay, that's not my fault. And there are no bears on the screen. There's no bear spell. All right.
I mean, he might as well.
Guy.
I mean, we might as well be having a grizzly bear on the screen, as we are gonna get PineappleHour running a lot with such a heavy hitting character. He might as well be a bear of a man.
Absolutely. Here we go again. All these cubes on the screen. Plenty. Didn't even see the 6H come in. Gotta give a burst out. Gotta give super advantage for Rainuchiha. Meant their burst early, but now, if you're Asuka, you want the other character to have no burst because now they have way less options to get out of the pressure. But the 6H whiffing, giving Palamber the perfect opportunity to get that Slayer pressure started. I am plus 27. Cross up, 5H not connecting. Double cross up, we're ready for it though.
Yeah, holding it down this time. Their defense has got to be really solid. They're going to get hit by the command grab. They are going to get hit by the universe counter hit, but simply put, Lady Luck is on the side of the man with the plan, and we're going to get a serious situation of strike throw. We're going to whiff the JK, and we're going to go into another strike throw situation. No mana, so you can use the resources.
No mana.
Oh my god.
Oh, the drop.
The double KO.
Oh, a whole lot of spaghetti on the floor. Both players tripping up on it. And just like that, of a double KO, we are going to last game round.
Let's go. Excuse me? I'm sorry. This is just so much fun. That is just an involuntary bit of laughter, bro. This is just so great. This is why fighting games are so odd. You can never truly count out both players, as situations like these can happen. This happens more frequently than you think. But here we go. Rain is going to get their pressure started, as they're going to get them going all the way to the corner to mid-screen. But now we're back to square one. But we unfortunately doesn't get the crossover in time. But we are mid-screen. Resources are healthy, and they're going to get the throw.
Okay, arpeggio pressure burst baited. We have the cubes to cover, and that's going to close it out. Fantastic showing from Rainuchiha, closing out a very high intense.
What's going on? What's going on? This is what, like our 4th game 5?
I believe so, or about the 3rd one.
They're gonna nerf a lot of his blood related tools, as well as some of the kit that he has. But we'll get to the discussion points of those kits and those new special moves in due time. We do have a big problem on our hands, and we're gonna have test my luck versus Dexor, and test your luck. We have been having a lot of Nagoriki play, but they're gonna be rocking the A.B.A today, as we're gonna play a little bit of Symphony for you lovely people over in NA.
A little bit of a misconception. That is test my luck, not test your luck. I know very similar names. Your luck is the Nago player. My luck has played a variety of characters, but now they're playing the A.B.A.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know like that. Okay, that's good to know.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But
I love this track.
Very strong. I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites. One of my favorite. Strive, because he was Strive track. I have my favorites outside of this game, but definitely a very fun one, very upbeat, very fast. Speaking of very fast, we have Geo getting a nice wall break combo using the wall assault and the super for the hard knockdown. A.B.A on defense has the tools against a strike throw character like Geo to match their way out into an immediate win con. That is a scary Jealous Rage. Here we go. Speaking of the devil, it's going to get started. Actually, no. Using the reset off the 360K to get a Mewtwo key grab.
And then we've got about almost 100 meter. We're bursting off the table. We have 50% jealousy rage. We're gonna burn through quite a bit of that meter, that intertwined until being able to get the knockdown necessary, using that JD to be able to reset. And now we're gonna use the tentacle super. We're gonna summon the gates of hell in order to get that wall break. And now we're gonna reset with 100% jealousy rage.
Just ruin all over the screen. Dexor could not get away from that 2S, which gave Symphoos the chance to get that overhead, and that first game looking very strong.
Yeah, again, but we were talking about theme songs over a minute ago, Symphony being a really great one. But I think it'd be a really great idea to communicate with the chat a little bit, so the people who are at home just watching this, or the competitors who are watching this on stream, please tell us what your favorite track is from the Guilty Gear soundtrack. And I don't mean Strive just specifically, I just mean Guilty Gear as a whole, because personally my top 3 are Break a Spell, Keep Yourself Alive 3, and what is my third one? There's a very good third one, but I feel like it's got to be between like, just, I forget the name, but it'll come to me in a bit. But we'll keep things going. We'll keep things rolling with Dexor versus Test My Luck.
If you're asking me, I love those first 2 picks. My throw would definitely be Holy Orders, Be Just or Be Dead, and a fantastic classic Guilty Gear track. Speaking of the classics, you got 2P into install there, but forcing the YRC from Dexor to get out, but that's not going to save you from the Jealous Rage. Neutral, another facet of this character that makes her so strong. Uninstall 6H Whipping. Nice air throw.
Getting the Jealousy Rage, is able to reset. We're able to get the Black Beat combo, and now we're gonna get the Gates of Hell opened up, and you're just gonna get chipped out. I just figured out what my 3rd favorite song is. It's the Spider's Thread. It's Zato versus Milia's battle theme.
Ooh, okay. Enlightened pick there. I like that. I like that a lot. There we go. Jumping right in is Test My Luck into the overhead, getting that have his offense started as soon as possible. Uninstall to reset the pressure. They don't want to break the wall just quite yet.
Ooh, that counter hit close slash hitting from so high up, and you are going to get a lot of Jealousy Rage for your troubles. You're going to have to hold this empty jump into low. Burst off the table. You're just going to take this, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. But honorary pick is definitely Dirty Drive by Ito's theme in Exerd. It's a really great one.
Absolutely. These are good picks, Sir Cap. I can't lie to you. You've got a little bit of Guilty Gear soundtrack knowledge, and I always am a fan of that.
I got some taste. I got some taste in Guilty Gear.
I see you. Okay, but Test My Luck speed running our way to a 2-0 lead over Dexor. The A.B.A looking extremely strong, just using those tools, using Danzai, such a potent tool, not only in offense with the plus frames to deal with DPs, but also in neutral. If you're like, okay, I'm in Jealous Rage, I got some stuff to work, I got some resources to keep myself safe, I really don't want to play neutral right now. I'm just going to throw out Danzai and see what happens. And that, more often than not, it will work on a character that can't really zone like Gio, has to get in to get her offense started, and that's exactly where A.B.A wants you.
Yeah, and this is where, like, especially in a game like this where a lot of players are just playing a lot of single characters, a lot of specialists in the game, it's like the imposing threat of having a specialist on screen, as we are seeing with Test My Luck, getting that burst bait, getting a lot of damage into the reset off of the Jealousy Rage, 50% meter, and to 55% damage, is a lot of the time being a specialist in a character ultimately means it's just a lot more difficult to really like decentivize a lot of people from playing their game plan, as opposed to people who play multiple characters into the game. But that always is a strength as well. Having multiple pockets, having multiple characters to pick from is always a strength in of itself. It means you open yourself up to more knowledge and more characters to play if necessary.
Definitely looking extremely strong. Get a huge starter with that counter hit 2H. Nice burst bait on the RC, and that's more than enough. We're going to spend that Jealous Rage, spend that cash, and win this set. And I think those are our fastest set so far at a 3-0. That's just the A.B.A effect. Perfect for Test My Luck here.
Yeah, getting it out in about...
And it's a lot of time for someone to turn things around, but MFCR looking to keep their 6-0 and turn it into 7-0 as they go against TurtleAndBeyond here.
Yeah, we are going to move things forward. We're going to trudge things along. MFCR not too complacent. You know, complacency has always been a factor in certain matches going the wrong way. I think there might have been enough time to be able to tech it, but no, Elysium Driver just getting them right at the wit's end of that tech window, and we are going to get a wall break. It's positive bonus.
Jacko going in with the IDJ. Not a safe jump, despite what it looks like, but MFCR playing it safe. Might have been a fake, who knows? Here we go, cross up. That Leo pressure is so deadly. Here we go, cross up again, low. Caught Turtle standing. Same side this time, actually stayed perfectly still. That's gonna be a parry. Oh no, you just DP, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, my mistake. My fault, OG. I wasn't familiar with your game. This time blocks it out.
Showing absolutely no fear. Went for a second Elysian Driver, but MFCR 2 steps ahead. Gonna get first blood here.
A little bit conflicting, the name as well as the name conflicts with the gameplay, as we're seeing less Turtle gameplay, but then again it is early going on at the opening gate, so we are seeing MFCR open up a lot more and has done quite a lot against some of the world's best. And MFCR getting the run-up throw on them, baiting out the flash kick, and this is going to be a pretty decent start for TurtleAndBeyond, as they're going to get some really good stable confirms off of this Elysium Driver.
Nice chunk off that Leo help again. Like I mentioned earlier, low hit combos do help for that super damage. Running all the way in for the 2D cross up, not blocked. Going for the big sledgehammer off that back turn. Plus frames, counter hit on the slash. Gonna get the first game here.
There we go. Simple, easy cover girl. You love to see it. MFCR just making a quick hash of it, not wanting to think too much, not wanting to worry about too much as they put the game plan into motion. TurtleAndBeyond not really living up to the name that they have been putting on themselves. A lot of pressure in the situation as this is still time to qualify for the top 8 bracket. But you know, that doesn't say that there isn't an opportunity for these players to at least get an upset to give a lot of problems for these top 8 finalists that do eventually make it. But there's just still a long road.
Absolutely. Speaking of going against their names, MFCR, the acronym does stand for Mother. I can't say the second word. Can't read, but he's making quite some good reads so far here in this first game. Moving on to the second, but TurtleAndBeyond getting started. 2K2D gonna get that offense rolling. Another Jack. Ooh, nice bait on the DP. Goes for the charge dust, but gets bursted out. Good start for Turtle, getting the offense started once again. Playing really good neutral against this Leo.
I'm trying to take a look at the results that they've had for each of these players, right? I'm taking a look at every single one of these players that are currently in the top 8 to see who they've had to face in their path. And some of these players played quite an interesting few matches. So I'm gonna start this off with the leader of the top 8, as we're gonna be looking at TurtleAndBeyond just taking quite a ride for MFCR, dropping the confirm and getting the throne for their troubles.
TurtleAndBeyond not afraid to challenge Leo pressure, but it seems to be failing time and time again. Back to BRC, puts down the minion, but that is not going to save you from that Leo super. I'm sorry, the minion is not that strong, unfortunately. The cross-up going to give MFCR a round 3 here on their second game.
There's only so much the little guy can do for you when you're in a back foot situation like this. Gets their flash kick baited once again, but burst a lifeline came at just the right time. The defend command does disrupt your offensive though.
Nice anti-air choice for TurtleAndBeyond. It's again that Jacko 5 inches of prominent neutral button due to how active it is.
I get this 2K2D.
Once
again, getting their flash kick dated.
This set has so far just been all about baiting those reversals. Who's got the DBs, who's got the Elysian drivers, but Elysian driver is going to win out this game too, evening the set at 1-1.
So right now, I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at the records for specifically MFCR, because we've talked about people having to go through quite a gauntlet. MFCR not really getting an easy ride as they have had to fight. They've had to fight quite a number of big killers. They've had to fight Scambolini, Skullduggers, Dany, Maza, and actually winning against Maza, giving Maza the only loss he has right now in this ladder. And Wild, Dexor, Cheryo, and now he's fighting TurtleAndBeyond. And the record outside of Wild and Maza has been and Scambolini has been all 3-0, but mostly has been dominant across the board.
Such strong Leo. Leo, just general skill, honestly. I would have been saying just Leo, just a player being so experienced, having so much knowledge against everybody, knowing how to stay calm. You're experienced so much in tournaments like these, even just ladder, regular, double elimination, doesn't matter. Just having experience just beats the confidence. Speaking of confidence, TurtleAndBeyond going for yet another reversal. This one working out, going through the back turn H, giving them another chance to get something started here. Another DP bait. When will MFCR turn off the trigger? We don't know. YRC goes for the throw, but gets thrown themselves. TurtleAndBeyond ready and willing to react to that dash up.
MFCR is not afraid to test the waters here, and it's showing with the belligerent amount of flash kicks. And I think TurtleAndBeyond is starting to register these things. I think MFCR at this point, as aggressive and as reckless as it can be, I think MFCR is presenting these options to force TurtleAndBeyond to be more passive and to really think about their Oki approach, which is what MFCR ultimately wants. He wants TurtleAndBeyond to second guess themselves, so that way they can get that pressure started.
Be able to match their way out. That is the mind control that Leo can put on you when they're on defense. That DP is such a threat, being able to, such a fast input, it being a flash kick, a 2-8 input, being able to get through some gaps that normally other kids will have a harder time buffering for. And because of that, Turtle's forced to bait, as you say, which gives MFCR opportunities, maybe down the line if they choose to just match out and catch TurtleAndBeyond slipping. But these 5Ps are doing work against these minions, actually hitting TurtleAndBeyond through the hit stop. But another DP bait. TurtleAndBeyond not willing to let up once these DP baits, because the reward is so much. A long scale combo, they're not going to do too much damage, but you want the hard knockdown to keep that minion pressure going. Didn't have wall break, so that will work out just as well. Instead, 2D ERC, going to get blocked out.
Yeah, the product of his madness. There is always a method to someone's madness, even if there might be no real big reason for it. But MFCR, we saw a little bit of why that flow splashes were coming out. You saw TurtleAndBeyond being very focused on being able to bait out an approach. MFCR just sitting very pretty, just watching very closely at what TurtleAndBeyond is going to represent, and it's starting to work. The method is starting to be placed into this set, as MFCR closes it out against TurtleAndBeyond for this 2-1 point difference. And MFCR, again, the plan is laid in motion. There's so many flash kicks he's presented. The flash kicking either is planned out or this man just does not care.
That's a risk reward against a character like Leo. You have to be, if you're going to keep up these DP baits, you have to do it for 3 wins. 3 wins, not just 3 games, 3 wins. And having that mental stack build up so much over time, that always will work out on the defenders in the defenders' favor here, as long as they just keep ahead of the mental stack, ahead of the RPS game. The risk reward, again, Jackal being a low health character, all Leo needs is 1 correct DP to turn an entire match around. Not necessarily win con, but just avoiding Jackal pressure, such hard to interact with pressure, is just always going to work out if you get your DPs right.
Yeah, right now, if anything, speaking of flash kicks, as we're getting the baited flash kick right here, we're going to cancel straight into Elysium Driver, and we're going to get some pretty stable damage. Not a lot on the board, but still, that is still a pretty hefty amount. I don't know what that throw was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure that might have been a misinput. However, we are going to get an air-to-air with the Leo Whitefang JS, and we are going to go for a ride.
Uh-oh, just kidding. Now if you missed the meaty, going to give TurtleAndBeyond another chance to get out. MFCR with pixel of health, anything's gonna kill here. Looking for a DP bait again, but okay, MFCR closing space, but ends up going the wrong way.
Yeah, Gastuber just went the wrong way. May have not gotten the way that MFCR wanted. MFCR not choosing the flash kick this time, just runs up and throws. This is what I've been worried about, whether or not TurtleAndBeyond would clock in how many times they've been going for the baits, but does grab the side switching Gastuber. We're gonna cancel back into Elysium Driver. Yeah, Turtle definitely getting that Elysium Driver early on, wanting to not make sure that burst comes into play. I'm not sure about that meaty Wild Assault, though.
Yeah, that's probably what that misinput was from earlier, but I'm also, again, not too sure about that set. Spent the resource and didn't fully work out, but okay, we might be getting a 2-2 here off the RC. Do we have the combo to kill?
No, we don't, because the melee kick just missed.
Oh my god, such a scary spot. Leo's running at you. I want my offense started. Anything's gonna work here. A throw, a knockdown. Jackal forced all the way back to the corner.
Yeah, he didn't put away the minion in time.
The kid was still out to play, and MFCR just headbutted straight through all that mess and got us to a round 3. A huge momentum break for TurtleAndBeyond. You gotta stay calm here, stay collected. MFCR now moving out through the pressure, using the passivity from TurtleAndBeyond. Decided, hey, okay, I think Turtle's going to be more aggressive this time, but no. Turtle staying passive, sticking to their game plans, working out to...
No, but did you see that? Did you see that just a second ago? Did you see how much TurtleAndBeyond just gave up space? MFCR, you know, you can't give a player like MFCR that much space to work with. You're ultimately giving up your aggression. You're stating that you're too scared. And that might be something to take as MFCR. If I was him, I would definitely start pressing my advance a little bit more, as now you're starting to lay down the fear of God into them. But TurtleAndBeyond does take the round, does take the game. We are going into game 5 once again for the 5th time.
Wow. It's another game 5. TurtleAndBeyond looking for the upset on the Jackal. And yeah, like you said, so much space. The mind game of the DP, well, not necessarily in that situation, but in general, neutral as Jackal, when you're up in that close to mid-range against Leo, you don't really have the buttons to outspeed or out hitbox him, so you have to get away or have to sit down and hold your ground. It's the RPS of whether Leo's going to chase you or try to poke, and MFCR just chose to chase, got the corner, and then got a massive counter and close slash to close out the round. But instead it was Turtle who got the game, may have lost the battle, but won the war, potentially, as it gets this huge starter of Jackal offense going, whiffs the throw. MFCR getting stuck here with no burst now. It does have, of course, that DP, but okay, now Turtle getting aggressive, not baiting. Decides to back off here.
Yeah,
I think put it on a minion setup.
one thing I'm really enjoying about like TurtleAndBeyond's gameplay, like most players would go for the burst bait, and they would be right to do so. There are many Apple opportunities for TurtleAndBeyond to go for it. Our Turtle has just opted to just secure damage where it lies, and honestly, that might be the effective game plan. Sure, you can go for the burst bait, but do you really want to risk the games off of those burst baits? And I think the TurtleAndBeyond's discipline to be able to just go for the damage when it's presented is something that a lot of players just have to consider in the long run.
Goes for another flash kick! He didn't have enough time for a punish. There's the air block. Oh, wow. And Coach MFCR choosing a challenge on the 2K, looking for a potential DP bait from Turtle, but Turtle not giving up, keeping that 2D online and getting a set point possibility here.
Yeah, this would definitely be an upset and a confidence booster for TurtleAndBeyond if they can get this game off of MFCR. They are not going for the burst bait like I mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's okay to give it a shot, especially when you have meter on deck. But again, just going into sending that meter for better things and using it for the Forever Elysium driver, as it's going to do some decent damage, but there's at least 10% left. Goes for the run-up kill! We're going to get the kill. We're going to get the upset of the tournament so far.
What a run-up throw. That was mind control to the max. I've been baiting DP for the past 4.
I can never be more happy, but we are going to get things underway as Cheryo and SQ finally are able to play for this top cut of the top 8.
Here we go, Ram, Goldlewis, a matchup where Ram usually has the bigger range in neutral, has the options to keep Cheryo on his toes as Ramlethal backs up. SQ backing up from the drone, but drone, such an important tool in this matchup. Ram not having the best jump out options to play in the air, so has to just back up and give up space, which gave Cheryo the opportunity to get in, but SQ working their way out. VRC to confirm off of the Rekka, but didn't quite get it, but instead Cheryo not ready to block the charge dust that was meant to be for combo purposes. It's going to work out anyway. Positive bonus on behalf of SQ.
Yeah, SQ off of that charge dust. You did see that they did end that combo. They ended that combo really early. I'm assuming they don't want to give Cheryo any more burst than they already have. And honestly, I think that might be the smart decision. I would have preferred to go for the damage off the rip, but this is still going to secure the round if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It's going to go for Calvados, if I'm not mistaken. That is going to kill, but that did build up quite a bit of burst for Cheryo as the next round is rolling, and they have a very healthy lead on the burst gauge.
Chose for the longer super, the guaranteed kill for sure, but as I have super does a lot of hits, a lot of bursts on behalf of Cheryo, and of course White Wall Assault is a threat. Not as uncommittal as it used to be, now being -3 on block, but definitely something that Cheryo can represent to get out of this suffocating Ram pressure. Spacing control is her thing, but got shimmied out, forced to move, and got hit by the explosion. Gets SQ another chance to start all over again.
Yeah, right here, Cheryo, a little bit more proactive on the defense, is trying to look for an option that SQ is just not presenting. We are going to get the Mortal Bada to get the wall break, which is a pretty smart decision. Get that consistent wall break. Not a lot of damage like it used to. Back in the day, that move would ultimately get you TODs. Cheryo, very good defense, just mashing it out right at the end of the sequence, but not getting anything off of that. -3, but not too bad.
-3 does not only keep you from getting punished due to being safe. Ram does not have a 3-frame option, but lets you run a little bit of RPS after, but SQ staying firm, using that Darrow to confirm the kill and take our first game here.
Yeah, already looking very interesting. Both these players just starting it off very slow, just testing the waters, gauging out what the plan is, and just seeing what hits land, what hits don't. And while it definitely seems a lot more passive for both players to play this kind of style in the early going, especially from the loser side, it definitely pays more of it takes more of a toll on you if you try to go full steam ahead at the opening gate, because it doesn't give your opponent any time to really gauge what it is you're planning to do. It just gives them a taste of what you have, giving them that layer 1, so that way when they have to start playing into the further into the bracket, the layer 2, the layer 3, up to 10, depending on how high these players can go, that's where it really starts to shine and how deep these players' pockets can fill.
SQ showing already not willing to
Oh, your mic might have cut off.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, it did. We're back. We're back. Thank you for the call. Good save. But as I was trying to say, SQ having the game plan of just keeping non-committal, keeping the spacing, using the screen control that Ram has that Goldlewis does not no longer has, these the old Wild Assault being gone. and using that non-committal playstyle to just keep Cheryo on the back foot at all times. Using the BRC from the Rekka here once again to confirm and to attack Dust, which allowed the combo with the slowdown. Really good use of meter to keep pressure and build enough for another hard knockdown.
Here we go, 50 meter deciding to spend it on the YRC, using that Behemoth Typhoon, and Behemoth Typhoon being a dangerous option, gets the crossover and able to bonk him right on the noggin, the Valentine special, and being able to get him all the way back to the corner. SQ using that situation to be able to get strike throw and does close out the round. It doesn't really matter if what kind of hits you're landing, even if you're a big boy like Goldlewis. Cheryo wasn't able to close it out, and SQ does move into the next round with a pretty healthy advance.
Using the JH, using the strings that SQs are using as pressure aren't really necessarily strike throw, but more so to stagger and get as much corner carry as possible to get that sword corner pressure started. But here we go. Cheryo gets started, gets a knockdown they need to get that Goldlewis offense started. For honestly, the first time they got some convincing pressure going, but good match from SQ.
Yeah, SQ being very knowledgeable of how to be able to utilize the tools that are in their place, and honestly the knowledge on being able to mash against that Behemoth Typhoon right there, being aware at all times is always a big name of the game, and is going to get enough to kill right here. This is going to close out game 2, and SQ does move with a hefty lead against Cheryo. Cheryo going to have to answer back because this lead is damning.
Yeah, this matchup seems really tough for Cheryo here, having to work around such tools, such non-committal tools from SQ. Staying still, keeping the distance to where Cheryo cannot reach her without committing to something big like a wall assault, like a JD, and just using that to just react to whatever comes her way and just keeping that pressure going over and over again. Only went for 1 throw in 2 games as Ram. Interesting choice, but it seems to be working more than well as they have a 2-0 lead over Cheryo. Cheryo has to make something happen, has to start committing to bigger things to get out of this pressure, keep the stuff going. Another round start dash 5K from SQ. That is the 3rd time they've done it so far. It's been working out well, but Cheryo has now often started with behemoths. Here we go.
There we go, gets a wall break and finally gets some real offense going. We've seen people get 2-0s immediately at the start of a round or start of a set, but then that usually falls apart as the set progresses. And Cheryo plays a character who really can go the deep end if necessary. And SQ not having that luxury all too much. They both do have a lot of resources to burn with that burst on play, but as the round goes on, you do not want to afford Cheryo being able to get these hits and land them as frequently as they are. Trying to use that RC to be able to 6P, but just a little late to the trigger.
Here we go. Drone is online again. We're not interacting. We're staying back. We're giving up the space because Ram has those opportunities to fight back. It's not like Cheryo has actually started offense when pushing back with the drone. You could still move, just doesn't want to deal with jumping around the hitbox. But there we go. Cheryo finally taking advantage of that spacing, finds the behemoth and finds the kill.
Yeah, that backdashing, I was really concerned with whether or not we were going to get the negative penalty up until that point. We did finally see negative penalty represented in this tournament, and that is a big concern if you're SQ in this position. And I fought SQ. SQ has some of the most diabolical reset potential when it comes to that rock, and the way that they play the game just will make you second guess whether or not this simplicity is their main form of game plan. But it does really pay off in the long run, as they just have so much knowledge of the game. So no matter how simple it may look, it is still devastating, as usually you cannot find your way around as they fill up a lot of holes in their game plan.
Yes, here we go. Okay, good. JK, I was going to say JK. New letter just dropped. But here we go. Cheryo able to move around. But okay, SQ locking down once again. 2K looking for a mash option. Cheryo did mash, but still on pressure. Nothing big yet. Record
nice
IV. Good stuff. Little shimmy action there, trying to bait a throw with the jump. It still found the pressure with the drone plus frames. They get a super here. Gonna do a good back jump with a clean hit.
Didn't exactly churn the butter all the way. Managed to get 2 drones up there, but not an entire sequence. That Mortabato does get their man, but they still got quite a hefty amount of life left over. Using the windshield wipers to try and stuff them out to get a knockdown here, but managing to find them out with that Daro after the sword toss. That's going to be enough to kill.
That sword slam, such an opponent wall break option, something that characters have. You got to pick some wall break options are built better than others, and Ram Slam, the 214H, is definitely one of the best at it.
because as I like to say, come on and slam, and welcome to the Ram. As we're gonna move into a transition off the positive bonus, and Cheryo working with a lot of meter here. That is a hefty amount of meter. Just gonna hold off, just hold all this pressure using the Wild Assault, which we've seldom seen in this bracket. Is gonna go for the kill. SQ deciding it's not a good idea to use the burst. Very great discipline. We're moving into round number 3 of game 4.
Getting caught with no burst against Goldlewis is a death wish, but Ram SQ on the Ram, ready, willing to just keep patience, the spacing. But there goes Cheryo, finally working his way out, but gets caught by the 6P, giving SQ a chance to start that offense once again with the throw. Little shimmy action, Cheryo not biting, runs out of the explosion.
Cheryo just trying to fight their way out of the corner, just dash blocking these sword tosses, and it's really difficult when these sword explosions are also just as plus as the sword toss itself. But we are seeing SQ running a lot of these low committal options, very safe pressure, trying to force Cheryo to bite into these options. Finally disrupts the offense and goes for the burst.
Okay, back up again, the drone danger, but no negative penalty.
No, negative penalty is almost there.
Nice, BRC in the throw, and that's going to close it out 3-1 with a perfect SQ putting on that Ramlethal clinic as always. Moving on in top 8 losers. Unfortunately, ladder is over, so Cheryo is in fact out of the tournament at 7th, but congratulations regardless. Good showing all around. In our loser side, we're going into Scamboline versus MFCR in our top 8 losers. Leo back on the screen, going up against Scam, rocking the soul this time. Not believing in the Kai of this matchup.
Ooh, this is an interesting endeavor here. We're going to have 2 gorillas in the playpen just going absolutely buck-tooth wild.
Both characters known for having extremely strong defense, but immovable object versus immovable object doesn't quite mesh well. Someone's got to take the hit first. And it seems like Scamboline gets started with the Bandit Revolver. Mid-screen corner carry. DP at the right spot for MCR. Caught the 2K success. Another DP. MCR showing no fear. DP back, but no, I'm ready for that one.
The clash of reversals is always a sight to behold, but MFCR, the boldness of that wake-up throw is always something to be admired. As, again, MFCR, if he was a Johnny player, he'd be a natural-born gambler as he keeps just going for these oddball options that just end up working in his favor.
Seems like MCR is also hated by the God of Failure there, making all the right reads on these DPs and wake-up options to get that first round going and setting the tone for this set. Nice 5H catch at the very tip there. Caught the start, I believe it was a 2D. Gonna get a full confirm here.
Yeah, getting the wall break off the ggst, you know, trying to rack up a little bit of damage. Did try to get the setup going off of the back turn, but just Scamboline trying to get something going with that wake up 2D. Again, back turn back on display, but one wake up throw will always be a difference maker as they bait out a DP there.
DP, no RC no more due to the new patch. Throw from Scamboline, another chance. Throw again, RC gonna kill. Volcanic Viper, no, not quite. Maybe that Volcanic Viper was a little too antsy, would have went for a better combo, but it doesn't matter. That second 2K gonna stagger out that round. We're going into duel 3.
Yeah, we're going to get a 3rd round going, and right now Scamboline getting that round off of the schwanky leg right there as we're going to keep things rolling. But we are going to get back turn stance Leo, and that's always a threat. He's always so difficult to manage when he is facing away from you, facing away from his problems, as is the lore of this character. But the lay of the land is that Soul Badguy is the flame of corruption, and he's going to put you through your paces. And right now, that seems to be what Scamboline is doing.
Never turn your back to your opponent. It was something that Leo never learned as a kid or growing up at any point, because that seems to be his win con here. But has burst and 50 meter to work with. The threat of 2D, the threat. Yep, there we go. 2K2D gonna work out. RC for the kill. Yes, indeed. The same combo from earlier gonna close out game 1.
Yeah, in a situation like this, like I'd see a 2D and I just think of New Head's Valor, where he would aptly call it the rotisserie. Yeah, every time I see that, I always think of Valor, man. I think of Valor, New Head CEO, one of the strongest Leos I know. And it's really funny because you would never think, oh, a CEO of a Nordic, oh, he must be free. Nope, pretty sick at the game. And that's why he's come up with the rotisserie. But ever since he dropped doing the rotisserie consistently, he has been top 8ing brackets as frequently as possible. So he is cracked. But this isn't about Valor. This is about another Leo player who is doing doing a great job of keeping this set very much in his favor at the moment. Opening gate, MFCR has opened the floodgates for absolute mayhem, as Scambolini is already on the back foot in the corner.
That risk is quite cranked. Went for a throw, but missed it. Ended up working out as a shimmy instead and forcing a very early burst from Scambolini. Understandable though, because that combo was going to do quite a bit of damage there. Nice chase on the far slash. Gonna get a full combo here off the RC. Great starter for Soul, using the close slash for that extra wall damage. Gonna do a nice 60%.
That is a big boy combo. I know Leo Whitefang has got quite a lot of health, but Jesus Christ, Soul Badguy just really dishes out damage numbers like there's no tomorrow. And here we're gonna get that Bandit Revolver counter hit into the full-scale combo, able to pick it up off the 5K, but not the ideal combo that Scambolini would have wanted, but this is enough to kill.
For RC, low scaling, yep. RC gonna be more than enough to kill, as you said here. Scambolini might have been an accidental pickup there, but went a little too aggressive for the Oki. MFCR able to take advantage with that 100-meter super into RC rather, and finds another wall break here. Same combo once again. No, we're gonna go for the super this time. Get that hard knock that we need. Probably gonna go for a safe jab here to keep Scambolini honest.
Yeah, Scambolini
50-meter and burst.
Yeah,
no,
Scambolini flew a little too close to the sun, much like Icarus, and found himself not getting the confirm he needed in order to get the kill. But as I talk about this, MFCR getting quite the confirm, pretty stable for 30%, but Scambolini is at quite the detriment to his game, as they are going to try and get to the back turn, try to tap Dust, but Scambolini was quick to the trigger and was able to block against another Gastuber. But we are going to reset off of this, trying to keep himself safe off of the RC. Tries to go for the stable pressure, waiting out for that burst as aptly as he can, and we get a counter hit Vortex.
An aggressive burst from MCR to try to close out the game, but good stuff from MCR baiting it. Not baiting it, but baiting the DP and getting the burst out and staying alive and using the go burst of their own to get in. DP. Oh, wait, what? Scam! He couldn't RC that.
Oh, Scam, you were fine.
He went to
Scam,
saw
no!
the start of the DP. Saw the start of the DP. Okay, let me beat out the DP with my own DP.
Scam, you had it. No.
Not like this. You gotta remember,
Not
new
like
patch,
this,
man.
Scam.
There was no
Not
RC.
like this.
No RC, no burst. That was the round one, but Scambolini ended up getting scammed themselves. MFCR takes a 2-0 lead in this top 8.
I wish you could see me right now. I'm gripping my head right now. No, that's a feel bad moment.
Scam had enough of the soul. We're switching to the Kai. Comfortability is going to work out here potentially as we go into a game number 3, but MFCR getting a fantastic starter. Are seeing to get the most out of that wrist damage as possible. Simply already on the back foot here, but has burst. Can make something happen. They so choose, gets crossed up. Same side, but choose the DP.
Yeah, try to go for the
MFCR.
Try to get the close slash. I don't know if you saw that aggressive wake up option from the back turn stance. He tried to get a close slash confirm, but not exactly too lucky. Again with the reversal on deck, MFCR en route to moving on into the losers top 6 is 1 point away from taking it against Scambolini. Scambolini definitely was rotted to the core from that soul play, and it wasn't favoring them as much as they would have liked. Trying to clash with the H projectile, but not doing them a lot of favors.
MFCR on the driver's seat once again. Positive bonus, neutral as Leo. No resources yet, but gonna build it off of this combo. Will it be enough to kill OTG? No, going to go for the cross-up instead of the super, just going to confirm into some nice Oki and close out the set with a perfect, a little bit of a tragic end.
Oh, the tragedy.
Here. Thank you very much to our TO, Khalil, for having the opportunity to run this bracket and also have us commentate, as you said, and we get to get straight into the action as Marvelo locks in the Slayer against SYMPHUUKAI, up and coming. Well, honestly, not even up and coming anymore. They've already
He's an established name at this point.
Yeah, absolutely established.
Yeah, we are going to see the Slayer, though. Usually they do rock the Chipp, but a lot of players have been picking up the Slayer as of late. Razo being one of them, just picking up the Slayer, and we just really see it's no longer just a matter of myth. It is definitely, your imagination is not deceiving you. You are seeing a lot of the top players really rank this character very highly. The opinion of this character has only increased as time has gone on, and many players ultimately are getting noticed because of the strength of this character. And speaking of which, we're going to get Marvelo getting a counter hit 2H and pushing SYMPHUUKAI all the way to the wall and just having to hold this onslaught of Slayer pressure.
Absolutely, that Slayer pressure is one nasty beast. Left, right, high, low, throw. We don't even need all that. We're just going to go into the RC off the map a hunch. That's going to get Marvelo our first game here. As you were saying, a character like Slayer who's only gotten stronger in terms of public opinion as time went on. It used to be the character we thought, oh, he just does funny little power bunker loops occasionally, every so often. But as time on, Twitter clip after Twitter clip, we're finding the craziest starters to do 70, 80, 90% TODing. And don't let me talk about Last Horizon, the 100-meter super that just insta-kills on the right starter.
Yeah, you can take a character like Sin and it ultimately TODs within 4 hits into a TOD. While that isn't uncommon for a character like that to be able to TOD at times, it is not very common for characters to TOD consistently as much as Slayer has between the rounds and between games. This character with so much high damage, the potential to rob people is so abundantly high. As we're seeing, we're gonna see at least 60% off of this pile bunker loop.
Exactly what we were talking about earlier, those pile bunker loops off anything. 2H being the prime starter, such a long range, disjointed low, even his legs are disjointed because vampires are just like that.
Yeah, you know, you being a Knightless, it comes with its own perks. You know, you're getting blessed with the powers of dandyism, and here we have it. We have a character like Slayer who can basically he can be dandy all day long. But as we speak about it, SYMPHUUKAI really putting Marvelo in a bad situation and able to get that round, close it off with that 6P into the far slash off the PRC.
A bit of a hero burst there, but when you're Slayer, anything can happen. Honestly, don't even blame a burst at a pixel of health when you're this character. You truly believe that you got the opening you need. But SYMPHUUKAI, fantastic defense, backdashing away from the double cross-up and finding their way back to that testament neutral that they so need and desire. But it's not forever that you can do that against Slayer. Fantastic starter with a little bit of risk. Gonna do a fat chunk there.
Yeah, we're going to get another 50% on the board. You're going to have to hold this Master's Hammer. You're going to deal with the low. Probably considering that they might have gone for the strike, though, or they might have gone for the overhead. Not exactly sure. There's just so many problems that come with the Slayer offense, and we are going to get a counter hit off of the Grave Reaper, but nothing major. Just setting up on them, getting themselves into the mix, but able to get them with these 2K2D. Very long, reaching legs. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay, and also beautiful character, might I just say.
Absolutely one of the best designed characters among. Honestly, I think anyone can agree that Testament is such a good-looking character. But speaking of good-looking combos, on top of that, nice Nostrovia hard knockdown stays online. Will we be going for a high-low? Yes, we will with the JH2K, forcing a burst up for Marvelo.
Yeah,
Bro punish on the K-map.
Didn't secure the plus frames from the ranges that they hoped for. I'm not sure if an IB was present there, but maybe a lack of spacing there. But SYMPHUUKAI was aware and was able to get that throw. Usually a lot of players would be scared to mash it out or even consider an option like that, as there is the dandy step present. There is the ability to mash, but just a little bit of luck and just a little bit of misspacing, and Marvelo did lose that second game actually. And SYMPHUUKAI now in the running to be able to take this winner's side semifinals as well. Both of these players sharing the piece of the pie.
SYMPHUUKAI tying it at 1-1, but already in the driver's seat of this game. 3 having no burst on the half of Marvelo, while SYMPHUUKAI having a full one, going to give a lot more chance to make mistakes, but a lot more chances to also win the round, as Marvelo cannot get out of this Nostrovia combo. Hard knockdown once again.
We talk about good looking. We need to start talking about sexy, because that combo was beautiful. It was delightful. It really accentuates a lot of the elegance that this character has design wise, because that combo was beautiful.
Good stuff, confirming off the RC Arbiter to get the far slash. Arbiter once again biting the toes for the perfect.
Yeah, Arbiter sign, as Kizzy K would like to call it. You're about to get barneyed on main, and SYMPHUUKAI really showing off the strength of Arbiter sign, using that teleport to be able to maneuver the screen. But that 2H is a godsend for Slayer, as he's able to push forward and be able to maintain his offense with a lot of health, whipping that power bunker, but doesn't care, as he's just gonna map a hunch into the space.
Not giving SYMPHUUKAI any room to breathe at all. Player with map punch, such a fast and honestly almost unreactable button in neutral, just comboing into such hard corner carry, or with meter, super hard damaging combo. SYMPHUUKAI has to be aware of this if they want to keep that testament neutral alive. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's never an easy endeavor playing with a character who could just rob you of all your effort in just a moment's notice. But SYMPHUUKAI is doing the impossible and definitely putting up a great fight against Marvelo with the Slayer. This time not opting to go for the chip, but that overhead, it's late, is going to do quite a lot of damage, and you're going to take at least 40% off of that. SYMPHUUKAI not having a lot of resources to burn with this health deficit, but using that RC to be able to push forward, a YRC off the table, trying to throw out that 2H and trying to clip him.
Guys staying firm, staying back with the jump outs. 2H, Marvelo looking for that opening, but SYMPHUUKAI not giving it. Tap dust blocked. Flex shield 2H on the tip, barely caught. 2K stagger. Good jump.
Just one more hit.
That would have been super bad. One more hit.
Double
jumps
KO
away.
again!
Double KO. And this is Guilty Gear Strives. We'll be going to a dual final here. No draw.
There's no
Someone's
way
gotta
we
win.
get this twice in the same bracket. I'm losing it right now. SYMPHUUKAI almost had it, but once again, the trade, the double KO twice in a single bracket. But we're gonna get the Kasaki business out to play. These beauties are out for blood, and we're gonna get a positive bonus. And this is the time for SYMPHUUKAI. If there's ever a time, it's now, as Burst is off the table.
The low arbiter gonna catch Marvelo right as they tried to jump. Perfect for SYMPHUUKAI, closing it out, saying, I should have won that last round. No double KO for you again.
I can't take this for too long. I can't be seeing these over again. The level of intensity is going to put my anxiety through the roof every time. I've seen this happen at least twice now, this bracket, and I've seen this happen before in another bracket I've commentated. This is too much. You guys gotta determine a winner the first time around, please.
Right, I can't. My heart can't keep up. But speaking of keeping up, Marvelo going for speed instead of power here, switching to the chip on the game 4. Deciding it's time to switch things up.
Yeah, SYMPHUUKAI having a lot of luck, a lot of good benefits with being able to control the space against Slayer, a more hefty character, but that's going to ultimately change because of the way that Marvelo is going to play speed above power. Much like you said, this is going to be a battle of attrition. Who can really survive the onslaught long enough? SYMPHUUKAI not really having a lot of great A.B.A, and Marvelo quite the opposite, having enough A.B.A and quite a lot of ground control, able to cover the distance to make SYMPHUUKAI wish that they were in hell. But right now, SYMPHUUKAI on the back foot, able to apply the stay and state, and now the back throw incident.
Running straight into that 2H vacuum and eating the throw is Marvelo, but the nice far slashing the speed of that move to interrupt the start of that charge Grave Reaper. Now using Shuriken in neutral to see if that air stall going. Cross up JS, the classic try and true. Here we go, same side this time. SYMPHUUKAI ready to block. RC for YRC, there it is. Got it this time. Nice reaction. That's going to cause Marvelo to get that first round, looking a lot more comfortable on this matchup.
Yeah, Marvelo. We talk about the character switch, but I don't think we talk about enough how much the character switch really impacts the methodology and the mentality between how to play one game to the next. As usually picking up a new character means the player has to ultimately change up their game plan on the fly. And if you haven't had time to warm up and play against the matchup just yet, it usually might take more time than necessary, and usually that might take more time than you would like. But SYMPHUUKAI not really too disturbed by the character swap, but Marvelo does get the DP out, and we're back to mid-screen.
Here we go. 2Ks on deck, but the 2Hs are catching. But there we go. Nice interrupt from Marvelo, taking advantage of the minus frames to RPS into the super. Nice car confirm. We're going to keep that chip pressure going here with the ID. Keep the same side again. Double overhead this time, but SYMPHUUKAI, really good defense against these high lows.
Yeah, burst off the table, you definitely do not want to keep dealing with this. The P Alpha Blade being able to push across to the other side, stealing the corner, but no real pressure. But as I say this, SYMPHUUKAI is putting a lot of pressure on Marvelo right now. Any hit is not a great hit to be dealing with, as both these players do not have burst on deck.
Ooh, the defense couldn't last forever as they got caught by the backdash. They caught by the 2K as they try to backdash, rather. And Marvelo evens it out at 2-2. The chip is working.
Yeah, the chip is working, but at the same time, you cannot count out SYMPHUUKAI, as SYMPHUUKAI has put Marvelo on the back foot in very precarious situations. It's just Marvelo was able to close it out, be able to find that opening necessary, and be able to get that game and steal the round off of SYMPHUUKAI's hard work. Every single hit that is landing for SYMPHUUKAI, Marvelo is just making them work for it. There is no easy going. There is no rest for the wicked. Money does not grow on trees. Yes, I referenced that song, but here we go again, one more time for the game 5, once again for the 6th time in this bracket.
Absolutely. It seems the name of this matchup, rather than Slayer, who had a few opportunities to get around, a few opportunities to move around, but instead instead of going for quality and Slayer damage, we're going for quantity and the opportunities that Chipp can provide with such fast movement. But SYMPHUUKAI ready for that, catches the 2K into the RC, forcing the burst.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, death by a million cuts or a million cubes, but we're going to be death by 1,000 cuts as Marvelo is going to be playing more of a sting, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and that mentality is going to carry them very far if they can land the hits necessary, but Marvelo is getting clipped quite a bit. They cannot afford to take many mistakes. Even SYMPHUUKAI has more health to work with, but that forward guts is still a problematic factor. Doesn't block off of the RCP Alpha, and we're going to get a wall break off of this, off of the Rush Super.
Pixel health here. Will SYMPHUUKAI hold it out? See if they can get that hit. Cross up going to get caught. RC, yes, got enough meter in time with the positive bonus. Marvelo turning the set all the way around, now on set point here. SYMPHUUKAI has to make these adjustments nice and fast.
Yeah, they're gonna be fast. They're gonna be fast and furious because there's no shot that you can make the adjustment that fast unless you are working overtime. And right now, SYMPHUUKAI is working at 1,000,000 miles per hour, trying to find a little bit of an opening against Marvelo, getting these hits, racking them up as frequently as possible, able to get the JD off the high-low, off of the teleport, but the throw tech. And now we are back once again in the comfort zone of Marvelo, but that hit is not gonna make any favors for them.
Forcing the burst out, Marvelo deciding I want to end this set right now here. They get caught, if he's stuck in a bad spot here. But making it work, jumping over the graveyard, keeping it nice, non-committal, backing up, looking for a whip punish. Finds the Rekka hit, RC. Gonna try to get a burst out, no. SYMPHUUKAI holding on, gets caught by the reset.
Yeah, not wanting to get the wall broken, but that is all you're going to have to host. I mean, you have 50 meter, but you've got to find a solution right away. Marvelo this time just holding the ground, wanting to play the ground game, and SYMPHUUKAI is going to have to come up with something as that JS clips them, and Marvelo moves on to winners finals.
Wow, fantastic showing. As soon as you're talking about the ground game, he just must have heard you because he went straight into the air dashing around, using the BRC to get around. Two absolute veterans with their characters, two masters of their craft, going at it winners semifinals.
Yeah, we're gonna get Maza on the Kai. I don't know about you, but I still kind of feel a little bit perturbed by the mods that Maza does be running on their stream. But we're not talking about mods here, even though there might be some mods in the chat who are doing their work. Thank you very much for keeping our chat safe. We are gonna have UMISHO running pressure, going for the double overhead. Dany Maza using the deflect shield to deflect all that pressure off, but UMISHO still pressing forward with full steam ahead.
Using the gunflame for spacing. Feint this time, looking for a reaction from Dany. No reaction given though. Keeping the stun edge, keeping that nice. It's double Shoto neutral is just so interesting to watch. So few tools, but so many more mind games to be at play here. And there we go, Dany finding the opening and getting a not hard knockdown, but a good chunk of life off of UMISHO. Any little hit's gonna count. Meter on deck. UMISHO throwing out the 2 preemptively for a stun dipper, but Dany going afterwards and catching the jump out with a close slash.
Now, we did talk about it earlier, the placements in the bracket in order to qualify for top 8, and we did talk about this already. This is a run back from the qualifiers into top 8 on the winner's side. UMISHO and Dany Maza respectively qualifying in top 8 winner's side as we are looking at right now. But this is a run back set that these two are fighting it out. This is probably a good sign for redemption for UMISHO in order to put Maza down all the way down the loser side, possibly for good.
We didn't get the pleasure of casting it, but Dany did show up on top of a 2-3 set in their favor there. But UMISHO showing that they got to answer the fight back here using the Band Revolver mix, a classic as of Season 3. Tyrant Rave not going to kill even with the sweet spot. Dany with 100 meter choosing to back off.
Yeah, UMISHO being a little bit more apprehensive despite the fact that the lead is firmly in their favor, but Maza is known for miracle comebacks, trying to get the 6H off, Fafnir reset, and goes for the 2K to seal out the deal, the 5K of the 2K of the gods, 5 frames of glory.
Love 5 frames. 5 frames are the golden number in this game because you can use that to mash your way out of everything. Soul having 3 options in that, not only a 5-framer, but a 4-framer and a 3-framer as well.
Yeah, and like having 2 5-framers, having a 3-framer, and then on the 4-framer on top of a DP and a reversal super. It's like, dude, there's no end in sight for the amount of reversals he has. And if you want to include 2D as a sleeper reversal, then you may as well do that too. But we are going to get Maza putting a lot of breaks on UMISHO's pressure, and we are going to put them at a very resounding life lead.
UMISHO looking for a 6H. Dany able to move past it and get that corner pressure start. No meter or anything to work with. Has forced to use Dire Clat. But that bar slash trading with the 2S, giving Dany game 1.
Yeah, and Maza just locking UMISHO down. I mean, UMISHO is putting up a great fight right now. These are not some reckless, abandoned neutral that we are kind of used to, that UMISHO has presented before. I'm not going to lie here and pretend like UMISHO hasn't done this before. I mean, we have a TNS to really go off of with them running a Sin at one point and just DPing everything. But other than that, they're playing a really good job. They're really putting a lot of breaks onto Dany and Maza's real solid pressure. But El Maza just being a lot more clinical, a lot more safe, and more importantly, just getting the job done more efficiently.
You say that they go, oh, here goes the reckless abandon you were just mentioning here. Quick vortex on reaction, I believe, to that stun edge.
That was immediately after the burst.
Here we go. Dany finding their way out and gets a wall break, but 100 meter on the side of UMISHO. That positive is not going to matter too much. DP on reaction to the blue wall assault. Not blue wall assault, imagine. Blue Roman cancel.
Yeah.
And UMISHO able to close out that first round.
I think that would ultimately nerf Soul Badguy if he ever had Blue Wild Assault. Honestly, you know what? Give Nago Blue Wild Assault. Why don't you?
I don't know about that one.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking, obviously. But you know, but like jokes aside, though, UMISHO putting on a pretty good show for us. Trying to go for the double overhead, not really going off of mix right there. Like trying to beat out the far slash, getting the burst bait off of that JH recovery time, and able to secure game 2 of winner semifinals.
One of the most evil burst baits of all time, the Soul JH. You cannot burst between the first and second hit, and depending on how low Soul is to the ground, not even the second hit at all, because they will land at time. Using that to full advantage there, Dany might have forgot, but honestly, no one's to blame here. That move does not look like you should be. It doesn't look like you can't burst it. It's like, okay, he's clearly hitting me. He's in the air, no jump cancel, right? I'm good. No. Soul's going to recover, and he's going to get that bait, and you are going to lose the game. I've been a victim. Honestly, I fought UMISHO in bracket and have died to the exact same thing, so I cannot blame you at all, Dany. It's a thing. It's real.
It's always going to be a fun time being able to see how Dany plays this game. A lot of people being influenced by Dany, but on top of that, I think people need to people forget often. A lot of people who are playing Kai, especially, like, it took a lot of time before people really got around to it, but one of the first people like to really get around, really get things going. We still got to remember one of the pioneers for Kai's popularity to some extent, or at least a little bit of contributing factors to why Kai is such an interesting character, why it's so represented. We still got to remember the Kizzy K representing Kai quite a bit back in his Dexor days, as well as in his Strive days, when he was still playing this game a lot more consistently. But we are going to see quite a lot more as people have taken up the mantle, taken the torch. El Maza currently one of the biggest runnings in the Strive scene, with one of the most potent Kais in the scene at the moment.
Absolutely. The sword may not look so sharp, but it is sure shocking. But speaking of shock, UMISHO going for fire instead of lightning, but Dany gonna ride said lightning with RTL. RC gonna be enough to kill. Low scaling on the starter. There we go. Close slash 5H, giving Dany a chance at a third round here on game number 3.
Yeah, already you get Metallica's finest riding the lightning as per usual. You know, Daisuke loves his references here and there. And we're going to get UMISHO trying to run out of the corner. Dany might have accidentally ran them out of the corner. But for UMISHO, this is no problem at all, as they're going to push them back to the wall. But Dany El Maza bringing them back to mid-screen. But as I speak, UMISHO is fighting back with all of that gusto. And he's going to get that fat finger to break the wall.
Wait, Route using the first hit of 2H to launch into the... Oh my, speaking of routes, it does not end. The UMISHO route book is forever lasting.
Oh, I thought I killed off
that.
Still alive.
100 meter on Dany's side, but UMISHO has 50 to run a BRC mix at the classic UMISHO. Gold burst on behalf of Dany. UMISHO does have a DP1, probably pace 1 can end it. UMISHO has burst. From Dany with the RC. Double jump for the bait, but UMISHO staying firm. Wild throw.
Yeah, Dany El Maza getting his mental incredibly stacked. There were so many options that UMISHO could have gone off of with that Bandit Revolver follow-up. Could have gone high, could have gone low. Instead, I'm going to clutch you by the scruff of your neck, and I'm going to slam you directly to the pavement. And that takes game 3.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned before, way earlier in the ladder bracket, the idea of and the risk, but it goes behind baiting burst in a close match like that, showed out to work in the opposite end for Dany. It ended up not working out because this time, as I said, if the burst does not get baited, now not only does UMISHO get another chance at life, they also get another chance to get out of your pressure, and UMISHO didn't even burst at all because of the drop from Dany to bait the burst. UMISHO was able to get out and use that pressure to go for an RC wild throw.
Now, a lot of the things that we also have considered too, like gameplay wise, right? We talk about reckless abandon and all these other things. We look at top players and we look at a lot of the game plan. We talk about how players play this game very clean. They do a lot of options. They do all these things that make things so effortless. Getting that burst bait off of UMISHO for the first time in the set, getting a reseat with interest, getting a little bit personal with that burst bait in return. But sometimes you got to remember, pro players, they think about this game optimally, but at the end of the day, pro players are only human. Sometimes these players will just do everything it takes to win. And that means if they got to throw caution to the wind, they will do that. Just because it happens at low level doesn't mean it doesn't happen at high level too, or top level for that matter.
Absolutely, but Dany keeping firm, surviving, a player that's been known to play for so much experience. Like honestly, he probably the most experienced online player in this game due to how many brackets they play all the time, every single day. Being down 2-1 in the top 8 set is nothing new to our fella Dany here. So we're going to see some more Kai, but here we go. UMISHO getting ready. Misses the confirm link into the 5K, but it doesn't matter. We've got meter to keep the pressure going. Might as well just been a fake reset there. Keeping the meter, going for Fafnir instead of a super.
Yeah, right now,
clipping them with the bandit bringer after the wall break. Okay, UMISHO, I see you. You're getting a little bit wild with it. I know you're playing so Badguy, but I didn't think we were cosplaying as the characters now.
Yeah, the question was that a cross-up, though? It seemed to hit on the other side. I'm not
It must have crossed them up. Yeah, it might have actually crossed them up. Dany must have run through, and probably didn't block in time. I don't think Dany was expecting to get an option. Or maybe Dany tried to go for a whiff punish, but we are going to get Ride the Lightning. We're going to go from one side to the next, from the east to the west. We're moving into the next transition, and DP is off the board.
Here we go, UMISHO. Good hit there, confirming into a fantastic clean hit Volcanic Viper, but Dany bursting just before that clean hit comes into effect, but getting caught with the air stall Bandit Bringer. That's be more than enough for UMISHO to get that nice little bit of revenge in winter semifinals from that ladder. And we'll be going.
It's very underutilized, very underrepresented, even with the character changes that have been presented with this character. SYMPHUUKAI still keeping it at large with their strength as a player to push Testament as far as humanly possible. But you've got to be a demon in the sheets to be able to keep this going as far into the bracket as you are going to be contesting with MFCR at this point in time.
Absolutely, but we're blocking the cross-ups. That defense is going to be a key factor in getting out and beating MFCR. Good IBFD to get rid of some pressure there, forcing MFCR to overextend with double fireball, keeping SYMPHUUKAI from starting anything, but SYMPHUUKAI going on the aggressive instead and countering with the 2S there, getting that Testament zoning started. Succubus on deck, staying on deck, but the DP is always a threat. Nice delay on the 236S to get that round.
Yeah, while Testament does have the ability to be able to keep Leo from playing the game, it doesn't stop the fact that MFCR will just charge forward like a bull seeing red, and they're going to keep things rolling as humanly possible. As you can see, they're just inching closer and closer, and they're just trudging so far into the space. The danger zone is so fucking bad. I'm very sorry. The EU bracket is still getting to me, but we are basically going into hyperdrive as MFCR is going through the wall, and SYMPHUUKAI is getting quite a hefty lead in this round. I do apologize, the language is coming out. I have been keeping it very professional as best I can, but you know, I'm only human. I'm very sorry.
It's okay, the emotions get the best of sometimes, but keeping calm is SYMPHUUKAI, boasting Duel 3 off a fantastic round 2. Going off the Testament zone to its full extent, keeping MCR away as best as possible. Social distancing is still very much a thing for our Testament friend here. 6P late, but still able to get that on block, staying safe. Graver to get some space again. MCR not being able to find the opening that they need to get in. Oh, but there we go. The DP is more than enough.
Get the tap dust and is able to push his advantage, able to get that strike throw situation from SYMPHUUKAI, and we have 50 meter on deck, but SYMPHUUKAI decides not to use the meter, and MFCR gets a wall break for his reward as he's going to be able to push this advance. SYMPHUUKAI having to fight this way out, gets the overhead but drops the confirm at the end.
RC for the beta burst, and again, like we said, going for the super is going to get that damage, lock out the burst as much as possible. Once again, MFCR showing that strategy to full effect as they go on to take game number 1.
Yeah, again, like it's important to be able to recognize if your opponent is thinking about getting burst, you want to shut that down before it even gets started. You don't want to give your opponent an inch, because the longer you allow them to play, it means there's more interactions to be had. And usually that can never bode well for you, especially if you feel like the tide is turning against you. You can never allow your opponent to play the game. And that is the name of the game. Shut your opponent out before they get started. And in this case, with the matchup in question, you definitely don't want to give SYMPHUUKAI just that little bit of freedom to be able to press any buttons, let alone get any reactions going, because that means MFCR's momentum will just get switched up. But MFCR, not really one for superstitions or momentum. He just blitzes through and just does what he does best, and that is blitz through the competition.
Absolutely. MFCR brute forcing his way in this time, not caring about the gaps in between. SYMPHUUKAI zoning and just going straight in, getting that projectile super, getting a lot of damage off of the bat after being held back in neutral for so long. MFCR finds opening. Here we go. Nice knowledge from SYMPHUUKAI, I-beaming the cross up and getting a throw. Leo can in fact get away from that, but it's not always the safest thing to do so, especially when you're in the corner as Leo. Nice, great Reaper there to get rid of the DP and
nice
force a burst
backdash
out
as well. Try to BRC in order to avoid any problems right then and there, but runs into a 6P, and the succubuses are out to play with their new favorite toy as they take round 1.
Absolutely, that's 6H just for a little extra damage. They confirm that round. Just been able to keep that spacing, but nice with punish on the very tip of that 5H. Beal able to get that offense started here. MFCR looking for the stagger, goes for the plus strings into the overhead, but that's the classic. SYMPHUUKAI's ready for it though. 5K stagger into the throw, the 6K was not being shown. Air throw, but double jump and air stall from the JH from SYMPHUUKAI, able to get away and find their way out. Goes for a cross up, didn't quite get the Great Reaper out, but still works out there, kinda.
I mean, if it works, just keep using whatever is available to you. That air stall off the fake out teleport was always so good. Their defense, SYMPHUUKAI being just making these micro adjustments, being aware that MFCR was trying to go for the throw. MFCR being forced to burst here, but you know there's a lot of meter on deck. But if SYMPHUUKAI can route properly, they can get a kill off of this. But this might not be enough. No, it is, and then SYMPHUUKAI is able to get the second game.
A bit of privilege off of the side of Testament, being the one of 2 characters that can actually convert an orange wall assault from their 2D, the other one being Axel Low. Unironically, it's the 2 zoners that can convert from their 2D with wall assault, but that working out to full effect there as SYMPHUUKAI evens out the score at 1-1.
Yeah, man, everything's looking really pretty for SYMPHUUKAI, man. Like, just getting that little bit of knowledge, being able to have the experience, as SYMPHUUKAI is no stranger to fighting MFCR. We've seen them get in top 8s consistently. MFCR representing that Leo very commonly. SYMPHUUKAI also doing really well in TNS, especially as of late, and they have been really putting on one hell of a clinic time and time again. SYMPHUUKAI is no stranger to the shenanigans of MFCR, and that is why you've got to be wary at all times. The familiarity is another factor that goes into brackets. If you face the same opponents, there's no 2 matches are ever the same. No 2 tournaments are ever the same. No 2 sets are ever the same. And that is why the unpredictability of these players having unfamiliarity is so important, because now you've got to condition the other. How do you condition someone who knows you and how you play?
Absolutely, it's so tough. You got to be on layer number 53 at this point, with finding this person so many times in a row, finding the same people in top 8s, especially online brackets, but showing SYMPHUUKAI, showing us be just a little bit ahead of the curve right now, as they have the round lead and a good health lead. But there we go, start getting that 2D into the throw, the classic Leo starter. Now the party can begin. Nice combo there, forcing the burst out from SYMPHUUKAI. Even though they're up a round, choosing they want to end this round right now, end this game, get up 2-1. But nice RC from Mr. getting the round started. But there we go, good throw, good reaction to the 2-6H. But nice DP on the end of MFCR. Able to get offense started once again. Good tap thus, but blocked. Another IB.
Yeah, the other IB nearly working out there, but that IB FD might have become to the detriment of them as they weren't able to get the full confirm. This time, however, they're going to go for the kill. The succubus is back out to play. These women are dangerous as per usual, and this is going to be yet another game for SYMPHUUKAI.
Great idea there to use the RC. He had 100 meters, so use the RC to get the side swap, and then use the super, that succubus, and the extra hit from 6H to confirm that kill. And now SYMPHUUKAI's up 2-1 here, looking very strong and very comfortable in this matchup. Gotta be one they played a lot due to these online brackets, as we mentioned earlier. Playing the same opponents gives you that experience. It gives you that experience necessary to get these adaptations going and stay ahead of the ball.
Yeah, you've got to be on a cloud 9 being here, being in the lead. SYMPHUUKAI was definitely having a difficult time of it because MFCR is no tough cookie to crack open. They're a tough nut to crack. You've got to be very quick to the trigger, and SYMPHUUKAI has made every hit count. As we speak, the succubuses are out to play. Their new favorite toy on the block, and they're going to get a pretty stable confirm, and Stain State is now reapplied.
Giving Sussman a good advantage in neutral, but using the resources is MFCR to keep Sussman from getting that hit. Stain is now gone, got the hit they needed, but nice 2P again. Have a little bit of deja vu here. 2P, 5K, 6H into Nostrovia. Gonna be enough here off the 6H? Yes, indeed. Arbiter, great conversions here for SYMPHUUKAI as they go into a winning position and move on and knock MFCR out in losers quarters, potentially.
Yes, and SYMPHUUKAI is definitely going to sit pretty. He's got to feel good about themselves. They're definitely feeling themselves after 2 back-to-back wins. Blocking the tap dust. Their defense has been so immaculate against MFCR. MFCR having to work to get these whiff punishes. SYMPHUUKAI being a little late to the defensive throw, but I'm not sure if they were looking out for that or MFCR was trying to scout that out, so SYMPHUUKAI may have second-guessed themselves. But we are working from mid-screen, avoiding a lot of the rotisseries that are presented by MFCR. One of the first times we've ever seen the missile dropkick presented by him, but we are playing this neutral game. Defense is immaculate.
But there we go, MFCR playing just as good defense, avoiding all of that Testament bullet hell pressure. They got away, backing up, but gets caught running in by the 2H. A much faster move now, able to clip and get that hit needed. Staying the Succubus and the Fireball both flashing with the Fireball from Leo, but guess what? That Sonic Boom has quite a few hits on it.
Ooh, just at the last interaction too. MFCR makes this a very even bout. Gives themselves another chance at life here. This is a set point still for SYMPHUUKAI, but MFCR also on the verge of being able to give themselves another chance to be able to fight in this loser's quarters. But still, here we are. We are at the precipice towards the end of this match. Gives him a throw of his own to give him his own medicine, and we're gonna replay the Stain State as we are gonna get hit by the rotisserie for the first time in the set.
What a 2D sent from absolutely all the way across the screen, almost damn near from the corner. Get Arbiter to force out the burst into Arbiter full screen now, force the opponent to block. Don't want to do too antsy after getting bursted by Testament here. 100 meter on behalf of SYMPHUUKAI, RC into the Arbiter.
Ooh, the defense has to be really high for MFCR. It's so important to be able to not get hit by so many hits, but this is going to be enough to kill, and SYMPHUUKAI moves on to loser semis.
Wow. What a confirmed, the double Arbiter using the RC to get that last bit of damage needed to get the kill. Again, really Kai no longer. Kai staying on the bracket, just Maza taking the mantle, moving on. I will carry on your wishes, Scambolini. The mantle is now in my hands. Wow, catching the fake safe jump immediately with the fuzzy throw, establishing that real off the bat super early. Really rare, as usually on a safe jump, you just want to go for the normal one first and then go for the fake earlier on, but they already always ready, as always. So many defensive options. Here we go, getting started with that classic charge tonnage into the aerial pressure. The JD is a mid, so it's not the best mix-up, but it's more than enough to just extend pressure, build risk, and just absolutely rip SQ's guts with that Sacred Edge there. Dany getting first blood and looking strong. SQ didn't get a chance to play. 2S2H whiffing, chose the wrong button to confirm. No 5H came out, and that's going to give Dany a chance to get that corner pressure started. Throw. Big starter, charge Shun Edge. Again, going for that classic pressure, but A.B kept that 2K2D from connecting. Got a punish, but DP from Maza again, just unrelenting pressure. I want to keep going. 2S catching the fuzzy jump from SQ, forcing the burst. R/counter, and RC gonna be more than enough. Dany taking game 1 in speedy fashion. Definitely a quick first game here. Dany showing that they're not willing to give SQ any space to breathe, any room to start that Ram offense. Such a suffocating mix-up game from Ram. Well, not necessarily mix-up, but stagger, as I'd rather say here with the sword throw. But they didn't even get a single opportunity to start that. Maza's just rolling and rolling and rolling. DPUs.
All right, just made it just in time. I was watching my heads. I'm back.
It's all good. Welcome back. Maza took the first game quite quickly. Moving on to game 2 now.
All right, Maza, getting things started the way he normally likes to. Gets the early throw, just get a little bit of that introductory channel into what Maza is capable of doing. SQ, we already saw a lot of that patient play against Cheryo. We saw a lot of what is capable against people like Cheryo, but we got to see how that patient play is going to fare against Dany Maza, who likes to take things from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds. So SQ going to have to find an answer super fast to deal with that high momentum swing that goes into favor of Maza whenever he gets things rolling.
Real quick, as you said, but what's quicker is that 5H from SQ. Gonna get the double Wrecker car starter. Get that nice corner carry, but a good backdash from the stun dipper. RC for the side swap. Again, Maza just not letting SQ get started. And we're getting out in as many ways as possible. Backdashing, DPing, bursting, whatever we can to just keep that Kai stagger going and that Ram out of it. Locking out, no burst for you. We're going for the Ride the Lightning. Gonna get the kill. Great resource awareness from Dany. Not giving SQ a chance to get out and closing out game number 2 again in Speed D fashion.
Again, that's just one major difference that separates a lot of players, as you that awareness at 100 at all times being is this game 2 for Maza?
Yeah, that was game 2. That wasn't game 1.
Oh, I missed game 1. Oh god, I'm sad. All right, well, anyways, well, forget what I said about introductions. That is just Maza's way. Maza just speed running this. I'm sad, but it is what it is. I did get to see an Maza match, so I still have at least some more time if SQ can change things. But that does go back to what I was trying to say, is the fact that micro awareness to be able to lock people out of their resources and be able to close things out. Yeah, it may be a short combo, but at the end of the day, dude, so who cares about a full optimal combo if you just kill in one hit into super?
I give your opponent the chance to get out if you can just end the round right then and there. Good stuff from Dany as we get started once again. Far slash confirming into the Sun Dipper. SQ have to play super patient. SQ on the Ram, not the best A.B.A options. You can see that 5K is indeed no 5-framer. I hate to break it to you. That 2P is stubby as well, and not having the best mash conversion on top of that, with 2D not connecting. But using 2K, 5K into Daro there, a risky confirm, but able to get the hit confirm and get out. Oh my god, they're just scrapping, going at it. No one's really starting anything, just swinging back and forth, but there we go. SQ finally able to make something happen here, but no hard knockdown, and he has a chance to play that neutral.
Yeah, SQ going blow for blow with Maza, but as much as that has been going really well in their favor, this is the reason why you cannot afford to go blow for blow, especially with your character whose health is just slightly below average. You cannot be making these mistakes. You may have the ground game on lockdown. You may be able to go far slash or far slash, heavy slash or heavy slash. You have the range. You might as well start using it the best way you can. Force Maza to have to commit to being able to contest these ranged options of yours. But SQ just sticking to the plan, sticking to what's worked so far. But Maza is just putting the brakes on everything that SQ is trying to do.
Dany's timings on these far slashes have been impeccable. That far slash was whipped right there. That might have been the first with far slash I've seen in this set so far. Every single one has connected and converted into so much damage. Here we go, the classic Ram mental stack off that reset high-low. Extremely hard to block off of those hard knockdown resets.
Yeah,
go
here
in
you
again
go.
with the safe jump.
Yeah, low life for Maza. If there's ever a time to kill, this is now. I mean, you have burst on deck, 50 meter. Both these players working with some pretty good resources right now. Able to get the kill. This is perfect for SQ. That was a nice way to secure a little bit of life and left in this tournament. There's got to be, it's do or die for SQ at this point. SQ got to get something going here. Dany Maza is on the prowl. He is pushing forward, making his advance be known to the rest of the game's bracket so far. And he is really out for blood. He smells blood in the water.
Again, another counter hit far slash. Can we get a counter on that, please? Because it just keeps working out over and over again. The timing's been impeccable. Again, another far slash connecting is just controlling the pacing. Even though Kai has less range, he has the faster buttons, generally speaking, and just able to interrupt Ram before SQ can poke with her.
Yeah, Ram is not a character who can be as patient as everybody else. Like, Maza has shown that patience is key in order to beat top level players, as he is dusted off and allowed himself
their win against a player like Dany might be able to just keep it going as we go into their set with Marvelo, who had a little bit of time to rest because their the winner semi match was first, and switching back to the classic red Chipp, no more color 16.
Yeah, it wasn't the first match, but it was one of the first matches of winners semis, and we did get to start with a losers match before we got into winners semis. And while UMISHO can definitely benefit off of the win off the back against Dany, there is one major flaw that comes with this strategy as well, and that's the fact that when you are in a situation where you have to go back to back, no rest in between your sets, sometimes the biggest problem that lies with it is that there comes that point where your stamina has to come into question. Do you have the stamina to keep going? Do you have the perseverance to rock through that adrenaline? Does your adrenaline dump after a certain while? You never know. It's been difficult, and I've been in that situation where even though I'm not playing at the top level, I have been in top 8s where that adrenaline just keeps you going, but there comes a point where that stamina is eventually going to wane. It's just a matter of can UMISHO keep that going for the long term.
Absolutely, but as a player as experienced as UMISHO, definitely a little more used to that stamina, a little more, I guess the lungs have a little more air in them, per se, to run the marathon that is a ladder bracket into a top 8. But again, you're going against a player that's just as experienced in Marvelo, who had more time to rest, but maybe that might give Marvelo cold feet, maybe a little inputs are gone, didn't warm up the Chipp enough, but they had time, so we'll see how this turns out in this game 1 final round.
All right,
waiting on both sides, both staying still. A little stare down worked out in Marvelo's favor as they get the super.
All right, stable confirmed, nothing too special. Marvelo just trying to keep things what's known, what's safe, what's pretty much secure, consistent, and we have talked about it. Consistency is a major factor. You don't want to get too fancy with it, and the likelihood that you do end up getting a drop, these kind of situations, even your best basic bread and butters are able to drop as consistently as possible as nerves build up. So if you're dropping your most consistent combos, what is the possibility of you dropping a combo you think is really fancy? That takes a little bit more out of you and this demands more execution from you.
But here we go. A matter of footsies and basic pressure was the key to Marvelo getting that first game there. And honestly, Marvelo using good amount of Kara supers off of the Rekka to get confirms that they otherwise could not have into a hard knockdown, and just keeping those hard knockdowns going, keeping UMISHO from being willing to DP, being willing to use Vortex or Bandit Bringer, Fafnir, all those. There's a myriad of approach options that Soul has. They can't do them all at point blank range. And just Marvelo keeping that nice phone booth spacing, as you could say, to keep UMISHO still, and that got them that game 1.
Yeah, nice and easy, bop it, just wanting to get some simple game plan going. There's nothing wrong with wanting to keep it safe, especially when you're playing against a character like UMISHO's Soul, who definitely could eviscerate your health bar within an instant off of just 2 Volcanic Vipers on clean hit. And Marvelo is getting things started, baiting out the DP, but forcing burst off the table, and Marvelo able to get a stable confirm that sends UMISHO back to the corner and able to get a wall break.
Nice route from Marvelo there. I made the most out of that RC. We got slammed into the dirt, confirmed from UMISHO, but got bursted out. Oh no, but there we go. The classic Bandit Revolver RC, such a potent neutral skip with the double hit and having missile potential on block with low scaling on hit, giving enough for UMISHO to get that first round.
Yeah, we are seeing quite a lot of nip and tuck with a lot of these interactions here, where one leads, the other follows, and the other one is going to get quite a bit of stable damage. That is usually quite a little bit of damage, or at least quite a decent amount of damage on other characters. Against Marvelo's Chipp, you can never be too sure. That damage is so tremendously high against a low health character like Chipp.
Risk reward always a factor in matchups like these. UMISHO with 100 meter was willing to send that Vortex, but Marvelo interrupting before UMISHO had that chance to RC and gonna put Marvelo in a very good position here. But 100 meter UMISHO blown to stay safe. Kept UMISHO from doing anything there. Dying with 100 meters is definitely not the best feeling, but that's just how the way it is if we go into this round 3. Wow, 6K not working out. UMISHO able to backdash away from the grab there. Another chance here with the safe jump off the DP. Delayed that close slash to hell and back. Marvelo matching at the perfect time. Tyrant rate could be more than enough to kill Chipp here. 1-1 on the set count.
It really shows the tenacity that UMISHO has when it comes to this game. There's just no end in sight to the tenacity that she offers, and there's no real way to really keep UMISHO down unless you suffocate the absolute hell out of her. But that is just not the case. UMISHO just putting on a clinic and just keeping Marvelo in his place and wanting to remind him that this is not the game you think you're going to play. You're not going to get off scot easy. You're not going to play your game as easily as you would like. You're going to have to kill me if you want to keep me from winning.
And the common weakness of a character with strike throw potential like Soul is that obviously there's a representation of fuzzy options, fuzzy jump, fuzzy mash, backdash, you name it. Those options get rid of both strike and throw when timed correctly on an immediate timing, but that's not what UMISHO is doing here, waiting perfectly still, making Marvelo unsure about when to go for their fuzzy options, and that just made the strike throw just scary enough for Marvelo to want to mash out, but UMISHO was born ready for that situation and got the hit. But speaking of born ready, Marvelo waiting nice and patiently for that burst. Give me that, please. Hard knockdown wall break.
Ooh, wow, that is not ideal for UMISHO. They are on the back foot. I mean, it is expected to get hit by some chip stuff here and there, but UMISHO is racking up a lot of hits on themselves, and it looks like they're gonna get sent out with a bang as that tap dust, just that otter coming into play and just, you know, putting on a little bit of a show for the people at home. You know, people love otters. I know I kind of like otters. They're kind of cool.
The otter, he's been putting in the work. He left May's crew to join with Chipp to train down in the Chipp country to get his moves up. He wants to be a better teammate for May, and it's obviously showing out to be working out well. The training's been paying off, but not enough to get away from the Soul 6P into this classic strike pressure. While assault to reset, 2K tapped us at the very tip.
But that risk was incredibly high, and you are going to take a lot of damage. That is at least 70% when it comes to chip health. Trying to go for the tap does. Very cheeky option from Marvelo, but it ultimately never paid off, and UMISHO does take a round apiece. Once again, sharing the same slice of the pie, and we're going to keep moving on as round 3 is underway.
You know, 2S, 2H, 2S, 2H, but again, no option from UMISHO, no DP. Marvelo's hunting for it, but he's going to eat a Volcanic Viper into safe jump here. Oh, another seed delay immediate, but this time Marvelo's staying firm. Okay, here we go again. DP online. No, mash this time, but actually got low profile. And Banner Revolver RC gets more than enough. You are quite dead.
Oh, you are definitely dead. It would definitely be questionable if it was any other character, but against Marvelo's Soul, it was never a question of whether or not he was dead. It was confirmation. It was a matter of, will he die? And the answer is yes.
Not a matter of it, but always a matter of when, because UMISHO got those right hits. Honestly, it's why you don't see a character like Chipp on too many will it kill episodes, because the answer's too obvious sometimes. But here we go, game number 4. UMISHO at advantage at 2-1, but Marvelo still able to make something happen. Just gotta get those right reads with Chipp. Such a volatile character, but Marvelo's shown time and time again that they are more than capable of making it work.
Yeah,
good counter at this time.
It's really odd. Yeah, it's really odd to see just like Marvelo going on the back foot like this, because they were doing so very good against UMISHO in a second ago, but it shows the level of play that they are contesting with. This is the type of stuff that you have to consider if you ever want to make it to the top level. It's just the micro adjustments to the game plan can be so severe that it ultimately changes the tide of what the game is played like, and UMISHO is demonstrating this to a T.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of changing timings, I was mentioning how UMISHO was doing, but now Marvelo mixing up the timings on this stagger, making UMISHO unsure when the DP has been right on them so far, but missed the bait early on in the round. That's going to cost you a Banner Ringer RC. Okay, I was about to say not the best conversion, but I take it back. I'm sorry, UMISHO. I wasn't familiar with your game on that combo game there. Getting the cross from the Banner Ringer RC. But,
yeah, very odd
able to run away. But not forever, because that soul pressure is just as scary mid-screen as it is in the corner, able to chase him down and get that confirmed.
Yeah, normally UMISHO, we know them very well for their soul, for their happy chaos, but we do see quite a lot of investment in the soul, and we see a lot of work being put into the character, as they have done so well to be able to make top 6 back in EVO 2023, to be able to do the work necessary to make the work happen. And they did win a major not too long ago, just a few months ago, but Marvelo is fighting with all his being, is once again close to the precipice of possibly achieving this victory, but UMISHO is not to be denied. Goes same side with Marvelo's crossover, not able to beat the 5K, but is still able to maintain pressure nonetheless.
I got to see that P Alpha to fake the cross up into the same side, but UMISHO, good reaction, able to stay away. Ramlethal gonna be more than enough. Oh no, too much scaling for the JD.
Yeah, too much gravity kicking in.
Oh, but the gut punch to seal the deal.
Yeah, just throwing out these far slashes. UMISHO goes to grand finals this time.
And Dany choosing the ladder there, but it's okay. We still got action to play, action to cast as Marvelo gets ready to fight SYMPHUUKAI here in losers finals.
Well, it is kind of disappointing that we don't get to see El Maza being played in the later stages of this bracket. That does mean that it's going to offer more opportunities for these players that normally have to contest with El Maza, and really puts a damper on a lot of their progress. That means that there's one big shark that is no longer in this small pond anymore, and that means both these players get to contest this battle without the extremities of how El Maza plays the game. So that means that they get to run wild, run free with just that little bit of freedom. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that they have time to sigh and relieve themselves all day long. They still got to fight each other, and they're still killers in their own right. Dany El Maza is just one of many killers. That just means one less shark in the sea to have to contest with.
Absolutely, but Marvelo making it seem like it's not that gonna be easy of a ride to grand finals for SYMPHUUKAI, but SYMPHUUKAI with a nice air off the JS. They're gonna confirm into Nostrovia, confirming into the Stain. Oh, nice reset there, keeping the Stain online and the corner pressure. Charge Grave Reaper for the extra plus frames here, keeping the passivity online from Marvelo. Overhead, double overhead from the JH, not blocked. Chasing down with the Freka. Where are you going? Probably gonna seal the round.
Yeah, SYMPHUUKAI deciding not to use the burst. Again, so much discipline from a lot of these players. We've seen so many options being presented, and one of the biggest things that we've seen that's been underrepresented as well is just burst baiting. And while there are players who do this very often, one of them being Tiger Pop, who is a burst bait merchant, as far as I can tell, is just, it's one of those things where I feel like in NA, I feel like burst baiting is just so underutilized, because why go for the burst bait when you can just secure the damage?
Absolutely, it's always a question of, honestly, there's two facets to it. It's definitely risk reward, and there's also player habit. Sometimes if you're a player like Tiger Pop, you get a read on when exactly your opponent wants to burst, and using that knowledge to say, hey, okay, I'll let you burst this time, but next time you get the same situation, I'm gonna go for the bait. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but usually in a case like that, when the opponent's not too ready for the situation to be baited on, since they got away with it last time, it ups the opportunity for the baiter. But here we go, no burst going to be baited for Marvelo here as they use it right away to keep themselves away from SYMPHUUKAI, but SYMPHUUKAI getting the pressure going instead of Chipp here, getting a lot of risk on deck. Going to confirm into the R, but that's going to be enough to kill it. Not if you lift the far slash, it's okay though. Another one's going to steal the deal. Stain pop, wall break, perfect from SYMPHUUKAI, looking extremely strong in this game too.
Yeah, SYMPHUUKAI must have definitely I don't know how about you, and while I don't want to knock it, I don't want to knock players down. I don't like knocking players down in their achievements as well as their hard work, but I definitely think that for SYMPHUUKAI, it definitely is a moment of relief for them, just getting a free ride to be able to get a losers finals. Still got a little bit of work along the way, don't get it twisted, but SYMPHUUKAI definitely has probably arguably one of the lesser of the two when it comes to El Maza versus Marvelo. But again, I don't want to knock it. This is just from perception and just the way that I've seen this go down. And Marvelo's still a strong player in their own right, and he's made it so far. He's earned the right to be able to say he's very strong. He's earned the right to be able to say that he's got what it takes to be able to make it as far to the bracket as they can. All I can say for sure, though, is this is going to be an unpredictable affair.
Baiting the goal burst, the 2K low profile working out just a little bit to just barely and narrowly avoid that goal burst and get the punish. Perfect from SYMPHUUKAI, going up 2-0 here in losers finals, in a matchup that I thought would be a little troublesome for Testament, giving Chipp's any movement options and Testament not having the most health, so Chipp needs less opportunities to be right, but SYMPHUUKAI just showing an clinic of Testament neutral here, just not letting Marvelo in at all.
The run back set from winner semifinals coming into losers finals now, and it shows a difference of how much you can adjust from that period of time since you last fought each other. And I guess Marvelo really did have to rethink a lot of his strategies. It might ultimately be just not having enough of your hands being warmed up for the situation, or it might be SYMPHUUKAI having to be playing through the gauntlet of absolute killers, and that means that they have had no time to rest, no time to breathe. The only time they've had to rest was the DQ from El Maza, but since then they have been on 100 at all times.
Absolutely. Having being 100 means that you're going to have all these confirms ready to go. The instincts, the reactions, the baits on the DP, RC. Here we go. More than enough to kill. They even need a wall break to put SYMPHUUKAI on set point to move on to grand finals here. It's up to Marvelo to stop the storm, stop the momentum. Something's got to happen because the wave that is SYMPHUUKAI is crashing on into the beach.
Yeah, like just SYMPHUUKAI is doing a tremendous job. This run back set is genuinely a difference maker. Just because you sent me to losers doesn't mean I'm dead yet, Marvelo. And SYMPHUUKAI has got the resilience, got the confirm. They've got the instincts. They've got this locked down. Their instincts are sharpened in the moment that they have started playing in this losers top 6, and they've had to fight their way through it. But Marvelo is not out. He's still got a lot of resilience, just not enough to kill. But that means that this is a huge deficit to fight back from.
Nice combo, but no burst from Marvelo, holding it on, doesn't want to get rid of it just yet. Being down around means that you won't get that back in the next round, even if you win this. And there we go, Dodo Mizaki, tap dust, gonna get us to a round 3. Marvelo still alive here.
Yeah, Marvelo is not one to go down without a fight, as SYMPHUUKAI is learning this the hard way. Burst to keep the positional advantage, and this man is keeping his lead the best way he can. SYMPHUUKAI trying to keep him off the deck and trying to push back counter hit. 2H not helping, but didn't get the confirm off that teleport.
2H being such a massive stop sign in this matchup. Chipp having a lot less range, has the speed, but has to get around these pokes. It actually gives SYMPHUUKAI a little bit more time to whiff. There we go, try to whiff into something else to catch Marvelo moving in, but this time Marvelo was just fast enough for that 2K to counter it. Overhead for the mix, double overhead for the JH. Backs off, goes back in again.
Yeah, has to rethink their strategy, is able to get the confirm. Now the succubuses are out to close this out. They're going to choke the life out of you, and SYMPHUUKAI might just have enough to be able to confirm to kill, and yes, it is.
Charge Brave Reaper. Going to send Marvelo to his own grave here. 3-0 from SYMPHUUKAI. The run back has succeeded. And now we move on to grand finals here. UMISHO ready and waiting.
You cannot afford to make these mistakes, and UMISHO knows this, and therefore has decided to switch into the Happy Kiosk to close this entire bracket out and force SYMPHUUKAI to start making a lot more mistakes. This is a duality in the zoning patterns for both these characters. Both these characters having very similar hybrid styles, but right now UMISHO rocking with one of the most consistent quote-unquote mid-tiers to ever do it when it comes to this type of style.
A mid-tier in question, but absolutely not a mid-tier when it comes to that zoning play style, able to get around and move around customers' options without having to pull up. And just as I say that, there goes the gun. Exactly what UMISHO needs to get around these pokes and projectiles from some guys to make it extremely hard to get anything started when UMISHO could just stay away and go in only when the time is right.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of lining up recipients to watch this bracket. A lot of the players were streaming, having a great time playing in ParagOnline, but we are going to keep things rolling. And UMISHO keeping this pressure onto SYMPHUUKAI, forcing them to make the burst. Curse is now applied, but they are able to cover the distance immediately, circumventing a lot of the threat. But that gunshot, what is a gun to a scythe? Oh no, what is a scythe to a gun? My mistake.
Yes, what I say. The gun seemed to win out. Rock, paper, scissors. Nah, none of that. I got a gun. Thank you very much. As UMISHO takes the round and gets to a round 2 here. It was a very long first round. Almost thought it was a round 3. Excuse me. But that's just the battle of 2 zoners. Someone's got to come in eventually.
Yeah, eventually something's got to give right here. And that though UMISHO is doing a really good job, there is the fact that SYMPHUUKAI is running hot on UMISHO's heels, and that perfect is one hell of a statement to make to UMISHO in order to take this bracket. They are en route to be able to possibly move into the grand finals reset if the momentum continues to swing, the pendulum swings in their favor. But you know, momentum never truly a sign of victory. It is only a delay to the end. You've got to close these out, and the succubuses are out to play.
That is a fat chunk. Testament damage is nothing to scoff at with that wrist buildup. Empty low, UMISHO ready to block. It's a 5K dash canceled, air block made it more plus. RC for the burst bait. Oh wow! I didn't know that was burst save. I just learned something new today. Thank you very much. That was what?
Honestly,
Hell, like I have nothing to say. I have like the confirm speaks for itself, really. How do you really comment and praise something that already just speaks for itself, really? They're doing a great job. They're coming in from quite a hell of a run from the losers side. They fought Marvelo. They beat the guy that put them into losers, and they did it with a 3-0. How do you really answer to that? How do you really tell someone, you know, hey, that confirm was great. That confirm is already great. I don't need to say anything. I think the chat could already like figure it out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know SYMPHUUKAI is on cloud 9.
Absolutely a master of testament routes making, and that's something you absolutely need as a testament player who doesn't get that many hits, that much pressure going without the right resources and stain applied. So when you do get those hits, you got to make the absolute most of it. Okay, that time UMISHO bursted in time for the Crow to not be burst safe. You got to hit it before it hits, apparently. What I've learned so far from these first 2 games.
Yeah, you've got to be able to hit in order to get things going. And honestly, I feel like SYMPHUUKAI really is just putting a lot of mental stack on UMISHO from the early going, especially with the charged Grave Reapers. And we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of how well they place these Grave Reapers and force the opponents to really think about whether or not the charges are going to be held or if they're going to be let go. UMISHO, on the other hand, is going for strike throw off of this, and we're going to see a classic back from Season 2, something that helped them get the EVO Championship back in 2022.
Absolutely. The EVO champion, that experience is always going to be a factor, and that's always going to be another thing. On the other hand, when you're a player going against a player of this caliber, sometimes the nerves do take place, but SYMPHUUKAI seems to be staying nice and calm and collected as I say that with a clean air throw. No jumping out for you, thank you very much. That's a common option from HC, given the fact that he has J2K and guns to take the turn even after a defensive option like a jump out. Throw for the tech, but no, not close enough, but that risk is absolutely cranking. Throw RC, yes, you are dead.
Ooh, that is a dead character. No, not enough. Just a pixel of health left over. UMISHO got saved by the bell, but a far slash closes it out.
Where are you going? Come here, I got a scythe with your name on it. That's what that writing says, just in the secret language you never heard of before. Oh, but there we go, back that ship with the shot, hard knockdown for UMISHO. 2K2D, and there we go, the stagger. That is, when that reticle's on, you don't want to press, and I don't blame you. But there we go, UMISHO taking full advantage. Wall slip? No, gonna go for the resources instead. Get that hard knockdown, keep the pressure going. It's time for the Happy Chaos Plunder. Jump in. What are we gonna do here?
Yeah, get the Google stomp. We're playing Mario Bros. As you're just gonna stomp on the noggin of SYMPHUUKAI, and we're gonna keep pressing as far as we can. Those bullets not enough to kill. That focus was gone before it even got things going. The bullets just conflicted with that dust setup, and we are gonna get yet another setup off the meaty projectile. Try to go for the strike throw, but just was a little too plus.
A little too plus for your own good. That is the tragic fate that is the set play zoner. As UMISHO gets the back throw and gets a 1-1 round count, we're tying up the set here. Gonna close it out in 2 more games, but SYMPHUUKAI can get the reset with 2 games of their own. So it's still anybody's set here. But as we can see, a little bit of rust on the Happy Chaos was playing Soul for the vast majority. I'm not too sure how much they rotated between the 2 characters during the bracket, but honestly, that little bit of resource mismanagement could have cost. It would have been a 2-0 for SYMPHUUKAI if we just didn't whiff that throw just barely. But it's okay. We're not going to talk about the past because we are here in the present at Grand Finals. It is a 1-1 2D trade. Hard knockdown for UMISHO.
Yeah, the time is now, and truly the focus on victory is the main goal at hand. UMISHO defending this with their life, goes for the strike throw, and is able to reapply the teleports and the stain state, and able to get some plus frames, but UMISHO just mashing it out. The reduction of plus frames from that fuzzy jump was able to get them that opportunity to mash it out as they cash out with Deus Ex Machina into a wall break. But again, SYMPHUUKAI, you know, clearly is the crowd favorite at the moment, as a lot of people are rooting for the underdog in this situation, as Testament, one of the most underrepresented characters in this game as of currently, and UMISHO playing one of the most controversial characters, as they're going to cash out into the Succubus Super. We're going to get the ladies out for a ride.
And confirming again into that stain setup we saw earlier, reset, but UMISHO not want to deal with any. It gets the RC, run up throw, whips the combo. We're going to get a throw again. Reset again, get those resources back and running. That is the true fear. That is the Happy Chaos throw. It doesn't lead to the most damage, obviously, or the craziest mix-up, but we get those resources back, and that's all that Happy Chaos needs, those bullets and those brains to get you in the blender. With into gunshot, we hate to see it, but it's going to work out for UMISHO. Same side there on the same jump, and the counter hit done with forcing the burst out early.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try and lock down UMISHO from so far away. Being a projectile zoner who has to force these projectiles to place and be able to place them at any given moment, as opposed to UMISHO who has to be able to lock on with the reticle. A little bit less of an endeavor for SYMPHUUKAI, less of an endeavor for UMISHO. Wow. Still a technical character by default, but SYMPHUUKAI still has to place a lot more effort to be able to let these projectiles land.
Okay, here we go. O2S gonna counter at the 6P. UMISHO going for a big read there, and now is stuck in the back seat, the back corner, with Testament ready to go. Wow, what a down BRC to mix up the air movement, but SYMPHUUKAI ready with the hand of doom. Not the back dash, but the fist. And that was more than enough to kill UMISHO. We're going on round 3 here. Because does not have the guts needed. Not a hero, quite a villain. Villains don't really have the guts to survive hits like that.
Yeah, villains. Nagariki does not count, as he was an antagonistic individual, but not an antagonist per se by the traditional sense. Just being part of the crew of the Happy Chaos Brigade, as Happy Chaos is tearing it up once again. UMISHO putting on a clinic with the Happy Chaos play and putting SYMPHUUKAI in another deficit. We have seen this time and time again, though. SYMPHUUKAI not being a stranger to comebacks and miracles, but there is no resources for you to save you, and you are gonna die to the bullets that rain down from across the plains.
Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't matter where Happy Chaos is facing, those bullets are gonna find their way to you. That's honestly a really funny, or like really interesting fact of Happy Chaos' super. I love when you get those weird angles, like a back hit 6S or some weird shot where he does the super facing the wrong way, but instead of correcting himself, he just points the guns backwards. There's no look. Hey mom, no, I'm not looking at the screen at all. I'm just gonna shoot into these portals and they're gonna find you somehow, some way. But now UMISHO's up 2-1 tournament point, but SYMPHUUKAI not out of it just yet. UMISHO has to show that they're ready to deal with this Testament right here, right now.
But that counter hit 2S does get things started, going counter hit for counter hit, and is trying to represent some of these plus frames, these IBs from both these players. Really great awareness, be able to get the timing down. Deus Ex Machina, as a friend of mine likes to call it, Deus Ex Money, as we cash out into a wall break and positive bonus. UMISHO is going off. The momentum has swung firmly in their favor, but no resources to burn through. You have burst and you do have meter, so you could probably go for an install here, but just uses the clone instead and waits out the resources.
Building that time back, giving the brain the time to recharge. Get that curse technique back. Here we go, 6S shot. 6S concentrate this time, resetting for the, instead of a wall break, going for pressure instead. 2 bullets, 1 bullet left. Use it for the tap dust, gets the punish. Good read on SYMPHUUKAI's behalf. Overhead blocked, but caught the batch with 2H. What a nasty string. And there we go, SYMPHUUKAI still alive.
UMISHO just used, like, I don't know where the idea was that they were not going to go for the burst, but might have been a strategical endeavor, as they knew they had no resources to burn, as well as SYMPHUUKAI had the ability to cash out at any given point. UMISHO just on the back foot, but it's all good as SYMPHUUKAI as starting to get things going. The burst is still on the table. UMISHO not feeling too much of the pressure just yet, but that throw might just change things.
They burst, but Zane is no longer online there. Avoided the setup, but gets caught. Nice wall assault confirmed. Oh,
the Barney is out to play.
Goodness. Barney is coming out and giving SYMPHUUKAI a tied upset at 2-2. 1 win on UMISHO's end ends this tournament, and 1 win on SYMPHUUKAI gives us 1 more set to play. Anything can happen here. It's all about who wants it more, who's more on the ball, who's more ahead of the mind games, who's on the correct layer. Only time will tell as we go into this last potential game.
Yeah, if you will consult the graph, as many in the chat may see, you will see where a lot of the gap is being presented. But SYMPHUUKAI, nonetheless, still has to fight alongside UMISHO to make it to the championship. That is still eluding both of them, and they still need to fight it out. UMISHO not having the lead as comfortably as they would like, not having that 3-0 lead is always a detriment as the winner from Grand Final side. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter unless the games are closed out. This is a huge deficit, but SYMPHUUKAI always having that clutch factor, able to push back and able to put UMISHO on the back foot with the excellent defense at show. Just not enough, though, to close this round out. UMISHO is on set point and is able to get things flowing. Just one more round is all they need, and SYMPHUUKAI is out of the tournament, and the champion gets crowned.
Using the empty low to close out that round. SYMPHUUKAI going for their own teleport. Oki using the 2K2D. Okay, but got the far slash 6H to lock down. No jump out for you. Going to hold some more pressure for the 6Ps and that nice little headbutt to get out. It's not Leo close slash, but it does have that upper body in fall. Going into the super here. Shoot it from all the way out there. You can't escape. In a hard knockdown here, SYMPHUUKAI with burst and 50 to make something happen, but the Happy Chaos high low is so deadly, but we're blocking it though. The lay shot, gotta catch into the low. You can't move out just yet. Gun is on you, Reticle, you aren't going anywhere. The lockdown pressure.
This 10% life is all they need, at least that little bit of life to keep things going. That BRC is not gonna help things. They got burst and they got YRC. Burst to get the positional advantage. UMISHO is on top of them. They missed the tap dust. This is enough of an opening though. This is just the opening that SYMPHUUKAI needs in order to push forward. Gets the mini projectile, gets the close slash, is gonna be enough to kill. This is huge, and gets the Barney out to play. The friends are going out with style as we get one more round apiece for both these players. This is set point for either the reset or the grand finals championship.
Huge clutch. SYMPHUUKAI clutch coming all the way out. Has a massive advantage here, staying online. No hard knockdown, but having a position, yes, use the 5 for the plus frames. Charge, great for more plus frames. Thank you very much. Confirm, forces the burst. Still a good spot for SYMPHUUKAI. Uh-oh, not if you're cursed though. UMISHO running in, running all the way in, but backlashing, wasting the resources. Had to reload extra there. Almost out of concentration. Had to use Clone to back off. Glad to come in right now. UMISHO has to concentrate. Negative penalty.
Negative penalty is almost on the state, and they are at a meter disadvantage here as Wild Assault is present here, and the pressure is on. That risk is gauging, that is going up and up. YRC giving them that lifeline. That roll went through. The deficit is starting to mount, and then we're going to go into this wall slump and able to get that counter, that confirm. No, another wall slump. YRC off the table.
YRC,
very smart from
SYMPHUUKAI. Looking for a button for Wild Assault.
We get the
what a arbiter. Oh my god, going straight to the clone. I don't care about that little homie in the front. I'm going for you. The full screen tracking, that buff coming out in full force as we get a grand finals. Say it with me now. Reset.
Oh my god. They were on fire for the entirety of this top 8. And thus far have put UMISHO on the back foot. That advantage is gone, destroyed, reduced to atoms, as one would say. SYMPHUUKAI is in the driver's seat and has reset the bracket. Right now, the crowd favorite is popping off and is going absolutely insane. We just need to be able to keep this a little further, though, as UMISHO is now on the back foot, but not that much of a deficit to work with, though. So SYMPHUUKAI having no burst, this is considerably an advantage for UMISHO as they have a lifeline to work with, but this is a good lifeline nonetheless.
Absolutely, half the health gone, half of UMISHO not going to have many more clones to work with, and use the RC to immediately get rid of that one right there. SYMPHUUKAI looking good, chat letting all that energy for the Spirit Bomb, charging it up. Will SYMPHUUKAI able to let it go? Does UMISHO have a pure heart or not? We shall find out as we get this conversion. Not going to be enough to kill.
Yeah, not enough to kill, but the stain state is a bit. Oh, it's not applied. I completely forgot the Raven was back. Yeah, so overall, that is really useful. That knowing that 2K2D with Testament is arguably have bigger gap than Nago's 2D, honestly, is really a good awareness as they were able to backdash. That backdash having a lot of recovery, not a lot of recovery, so you can be able to punish in time. Deus Ex Machina, put him at the very low deficit that is at least 3% left, does block the overhead, and we got an Arbiter sign. Goes for the overhead and takes the round as well as the entire momentum. It's switching so fast. There's never really a time to tell who's going to really take this entire set.
And one point I thought UMISHO had it in the bag, but SYMPHUUKAI showing that there's SYMPHU clutch. No concentration except for that concentration. There we go. UMISHO able to get some offense going, but SYMPHUUKAI taking advantage of a little bit of hesitation. Got to get that hard knockdown from 6H. No, we're just going to go for the super. Get as much as positive bonus as possible. Hard knockdown, stayed applied. UMISHO forced to probably YRC to get away from this.
Yeah, just waiting it out.
There it is.
SYMPHUUKAI was definitely waiting for that. They were scouting it just like you mentioned. That YRC was on the table. They were waiting it out. And honestly, it's one of the most difficult endeavors. They have no resources. They've got only burst to really contest with, but just enough time to be able to get that throw.
Oh, what a scramble situation. Far side really getting invaded, and UMISHO able to find that 2S and get a hard knockdown of their own. Not going to kill, but a great position. This guy does have a reversal super with a 100-meter. Will we see it come out?
No, we
UMISHO
will
going in
not.
regardless and going for an empty throw. We do not care.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been an ideal situation, but either way they had meter to burn through, and either way UMISHO just blitzing through, just wanting to make up for lost time here. That grand finals reset definitely woke them up a little bit as they're starting to reapply their game plan against SYMPHUUKAI, and is already taking this into another gear, kicking up the rest of this set. The pace of the set just increasing as time goes on, but SYMPHUUKAI has a lot of resilience, and there's no say. There's always a do or die kind of mentality. It's either now or never for SYMPHUUKAI, as this is going to close out game 1.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Hold on. No concentration. Uh-oh, Arbiter RC.
No,
Wait, huh? Wait. Overhead, no conversion, though.
But the gunshot closes it out.
Curse. Jump, gunshot, a crazy scramble there. I think SYMPHUUKAI might have been looking for a deflection, so didn't finish the string to get a little more time to run back in. But UMISHO staying nice and disciplined, found that out and got the curse into the jump. Gunshot, stay away from me, please, and thank you. That is such an advantage of Happy Chaos with that curse on anywhere you can get hit. And just, I want to touch back on what you said about the pacing of this match. I got to give props to all the high-level testaments out there making it work, because they play this character at such a fast pace. A character that's meant to be slow and methodical in the neutral. characters like SYMPHUUKAI, players like Faxi even has been on the up and up recently, just playing at such a fast pace and making reads that are so huge in spots you wouldn't even think were possible. There we go. There it is, Arbiter right off the bat catching the curse before UMISHO get anything started.
Yeah, the Arbiter, the Grave Reaper just being behind UMISHO, despite the fact that they didn't go for any damage right there. And backdashing did imply a threat as UMISHO ran into the Grave Reaper. No damage, but the implied threat is still more than enough to keep UMISHO from the advantage and being able to put them on the back turn. But at this moment in time, it looks like SYMPHUUKAI is just doing a very, very tough time of being able to defend against this onslaught that has been going out. But I am going to have to step away from the commentary booth, unfortunately, but you're going to have to hold this down until I return.
I got you, bro. We're going in. Testament's right. SYMPHUUKAI using that Testament throw. RC looking for a burst, not giving you up this UMISHO. We're going to hold that for the next round. Discipline, but that's going to cost you round 1 here. But we are up in the set count, so we have a little bit more mistakes to make. Had that winner's grand finals bracket buff to begin with off the bat. Anyway, going to get a concentration here? No, actually didn't get the right wall spot. You need a gunshot to get concentration there. But now we're expecting a low concentration, giving SYMPHUUKAI opportunity to get more aggressive here. Chasing the back touch with the 2K2D. Grave Reaper staying up, not apply. We're going to jump in air to air to jump out. Again, just locking UMISHO. Wow, got the throw before the 2K could hit. Insane stuff. Nice side swap combo. They get no concentrate, but they get the full bullet. Again, SYMPHUUKAI not be able to move this time because we do have the hard knockdown. But going for a jump. No, we're just going to go for the regular and classic 2K Happy Chaos stagger pressure. Probably the most insane stagger pressure in the game, arguably, given the fact that he has 2K shot and low, and when timed correctly will catch things like fuzzy jump, mash, and backdash with the right timing. So given that, SYMPHUUKAI was stuck on a very bad spot. Gold burst from UMISHO there into the clone, looking for some concentrate. Yup, got it. Got the meter too. No bullets here, but of course the gun super gonna get that all back into the barrel. No hard knockdown wall break, but the hard knockdown without it is more than enough to keep that pressure going. Tapped us. Gonna go for the super, get those resources back. One more hard knockdown to go for. One more opportunity for SYMPHUUKAI to get in-game name. SYMPHUUKAI to get out. No YRC, no burst either. Gonna have to do it eventually. Got it at just the right time. A pixel of health gets away from the JS just barely. Crow to chase, staying applied, plus frames, cross up. Grave we're gonna catch. Arbiter for the little bit of extra damage. 6P, Crow got before UMISHO could interrupt. Plus frames again, more plus frames. Good throw, RC's gonna be enough to kill. 6H, oh no! Oh no! Clone is such a tough spot here. Oh, it got caught out of the air dash back. Tragic end on a pixel. SYMPHUUKAI just not able to close out these first 2 games, and that's all UMISHO needs to be back on tournament point yet again. But SYMPHUUKAI definitely not out of it at all. As we've shown, they already reset the bracket. We know they're more than capable of taking this whole thing. It's just up to cleaning up these rounds, getting those closeouts when necessary against a veteran like UMISHO. We shall see how the adaptations come out. 2-0 on the set count, 1 more for the tournament. Welcome back. You're just in time for game number 3 here. UMISHO was able to close it out in such an insane scramble again on a pixel of health. Both of them on such low health, but UMISHO closing out again.
There's a
with
lag
the
spike here. There's a little bit of a lag spike for both of them here.
Yeah. Waiting for it to die down. All right, they're gonna play it out. Or not?
Looks like they're finally going back. So yeah, I think everything's good now. Oh, never mind.
Looks like there might be some play yet. T-bagging. Oh,
no.
Are they playing?
I'm not sure.
I'm so confused.
I'm actually really
I think
confused.
they're playing. Okay. Okay, they're playing.
Okay, no, they're playing. They're playing.
I guess they're playing. It took a little long to decide.
I would personally consider resetting in order to get this going again, but it seems like both the players are mutual agreement to just go crazy.
I definitely would have reset it alongside you, but it's okay. SYMPHUUKAI believing that they can be down a round like this and still bring it back, I guess. UMISHO got a little cheap flow slash start at the start. I guess we're gonna let it rock. It's gonna be a crazy end if it ends like this, but I believe SYMPHUUKAI. We all believe. Lend SYMPHUUKAI your energy right now. If you are a believer, chat, we gotta see more games here. Backdash gets caught by the mash there, but a trade keeps UMISHO in offense there, forcing the burst out.
Yeah, I had before I came back, you know, I had to help out with a few things, but I am back. I'm here on the commentary booth, and I'm very impressed by the level of play. I'm very, very touched to see that a lot of people just enjoying the commentary, very entertained by what we have to offer. But UMISHO does seem to be having the handle, the it factor, and it does seem like UMISHO, for the final time tonight, we get to say was able to close out the last game of the night as they now are crowned our champion for tonight for Paragon's ladder tournament.